All right. Cool. Chat working? Seems to be. What's going on, man? Hey, Dragonfire. What's up, everybody? Evening, reader. How we doing today, guys? Everything coming out okay? Sorry, I did this thing where I ordered food 2 hours ago, and then started worrying after about an hour and a half when it didn't get here. And, didn't want to start the stream while I was still waiting on food. Thought it was kind of a weird flex, so I waited. Hoarding gold, waiting for Emma. You got some time to wait, but that's a good move. What's up, Raccoon? How we doing this weekend, guys? Weekend just started for a lot of people. Let's put a little bit of love into her. Yeah, this is going to be like a 2-week catch-up. Just to kind of show you what I've been doing for 2 weeks. The biggest holdup I have right now is these specific pieces right here. I'm telling you, I need 16 per item per character, and if I had even put a single piece of thought into it, I'd already be done. It was like the one item I didn't buy up on cooldown, which is why these guys are done. These items are placed, but man, it is killing me. This is not a big deal. I actually do have enough bio for him too. Struggle more with bio gold pieces. Oh yeah, no, I have enough. Well, bio I made sure of, right? Like, so there's some stuff I made sure of. I made sure I had enough bio. I made sure I had enough Mystic in case I wanted to bring in like Juggernaut or Ghost Rider or pretty much anybody. Oh good, Sif is done. So I had a lot of options when it came to that, but how do we feel about the 5 SSM? Oh, you just brought it up? Cool. How do we feel about the 5 SSM shards, guys? The most generous. Want your feedback. All right, you know what? Let's do a feedback right now. Wait, there's an update? But what? I'm playing the game. There can't possibly be an update. Also, have not read the blog yet. I assume it discussed something. I saw Tony got 15 SSM shards and 75 orbs. That is correct, yeah. What ISO 8 class are you assigning Scream? Honestly, it depends. On my main account, what I want to put on her is either Striker or Skirmisher. What I'm probably going to have to put on her is Fortifier. She is incredibly soft. And again, a lot of that might be because my current stream on my main account is only like 40k. She's not quite gear tier 13 yet, but no idea. And that's kind of why I missed last week for personal reasons, and I really haven't been able to pay too much attention. What does this require? Cosmic allowed? Okay, let's see if I can do this. I don't even want to. I mean, I'll try it. Cosmic allowed? Okay. Yeah, like, ISO 8's coming out kind of took everything off because it's this whole new thing I can now talk about, you know, that I previously wasn't able to. And I wanted to make sure that from a free-to-play perspective and from a, you know, early mid-game kind of account perspective, I wanted to look at ISO 8s because if you were to look at an ISO 8 that said like, oh, Thanos absolutely positively, you know, needs whatever ISO 8 on him. Like, well, that information only helps you if you're using the Black Order or if you're doing hard level endgame stuff. So I'm trying to figure out, or I've been trying to figure out, I have a pretty good idea now, kind of like a middle ground almost of what I should be like what matters when it comes to ISO 8s. And I really do think ISO 8s are very similar in yeah, this ain't gonna go too well. I can already see it. I'll see what happens, but I'm not super confident now that I have 95 stacks of death. Yeah, I'll wait. What I've determined is the ISO 8 teams ISO 8 teams, that is a luxury that I don't think many people should try. You know, I really don't think you should ever look at ISO 8s in terms of teams. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of leaning into the idea I've been talking about for the last couple of months, the trios, the Holy Trinities. You know how every team has 3 characters that are relevant? I think that if those 3 characters are the ones that are relevant, for the most part, those are the only 3 characters you really have to pay attention to when it comes to ISO 8s. So that's where I come in. That's how I'm doing every team with the Holy Trinities. Yeah, like, I think you have to look at which characters are the most important on their team, and you'll find that there's a lot of overlap between the characters that are super important for their team and just characters that are inherently really good. So you notice I haven't spent any ISO 8s yet. I was going to do it for this video. First and foremost, like, I can easily get Spider-Man up. So let's go ahead. Let's get 2 on Spider-Man, because I am going to use him for quite a bit of stuff. And I'll find one more of these, or... wait, you mean I didn't actually farm these? Fine. I'll just equip 1 for now. And... it doesn't really matter. The truth is, since it doesn't matter what I start with, I'm going to take a small damage increase right now. As opposed to anything else. I do want to use Raider, but... because I'm not quite ready for 2 and because it's free, I'm just going to use Striker for now. But that's an example of one of those tiny little decisions that you have to make, you know, unfortunately. You have to decide, like, well, what do I do with these characters? How do I make them up? Like, yes, there is a correct ISO 8 for Symbiote Spider-Man on the Symbiotes team based on what content you're doing. And every thing I say after a comma there makes it more and more intricate. So you can just kind of close your mind and put on literally any ISO 8. It doesn't make too much of a difference. But like for Symbiote Spider-Man, for me, right now, increasing his damage a little bit is worth way more than anything else I could put on. Nice. Nice job. So let's get off of you. And now we'll go into Hela, right? Hela's another perfect example. Hela's a character that I'm currently using pretty much everywhere. So it stands to reason that I will be investing in her in general. And another one, I use Hela as a damage dealer. So she's another one that's getting Striker. Whether that's the correct endgame build, which I actually think it is, for her doesn't actually matter, because early game accounts that don't necessarily have too much access to this, that flat damage increase is going to help me more than a lot of other things. Sub-Malta. Minerva, honestly, I'm even going to go so far as to equip at least 1 stack of healer. I would normally do 2, but I'm not confident I'm going to be able to farm this piece right here. Oh, no, I can. Okay, cool. Let's do that. No, don't watch it. Oop. Cool. Alright, let's spend some of these credits. And let's... I don't actually recommend healer on Minerva for the most part. She's fine. You know, it's not going to kill her. But I really like Skirmisher on her because a lot of her attacks do have targets. And I really like the ability to kind of like take buffs off at level 3 if you're having other people. But like in general, I just need her a little bit of a better healer. So I'm building out ISO 8s, putting Fortifier on all the tanks. Oh no, no, don't put Fortifier. If your character is designed to be a tank and you put Fortifier on them, they are a very bad tank. They aren't tanking. Fortifier's supposed to, like, Negasonic Teenage Warhead is amazing with Fortifier at, like, rank 3, and obviously, because her kit is dependent, but she's not a tank character, so her constantly having shields is what makes her good. Fortifier on Rocket is very reasonable if he's very squishy. Thanos? Absolutely not. You should Fortifier should be nowhere near Thanos. If Thanos is dying, right? Whatever reason, whatever fight you're doing, if Thanos is dying, if you're using him on the Black Order, it's not first. Like, your Thanos is not dying first. He's dying when the fight's almost over anyway. And if you're using him on some kind of weird mishmash team, the Fortifier is not going to make a difference if he's tanking and taking a ton of damage. He needs defense up. He needs more health. He needs sustain or something. I think for Thanos, to me, Thanos is best to our healer if you're using raids, because he has such a giant health pool that it's crazy. And then for everything else, Black Order or otherwise, I think Raider is really good. But yeah, like, Fortifier is a shield. You should be putting it on people who are going to get murdered. You know? You should be putting it on people who, like, Human Torch is justified to have Fortifier on him, because you kind of need that person. Domino, I've said it many times, Domino is incredibly important to get Fortifier on, because since not in the BKT, Thanos is dying more often. If Thanos is dying more often, it's because he's tanking. Don't tank with Thanos. You know what I mean? Like, don't tank with him. Don't use his special. If he's not tanking, he's just an energy battery. So think of him like Star-Lord, except he can, in a pinch, do something. But again, Thanos with defense up is great, because his health pool is so high that it's meaningful. But Thanos isn't even on my list of characters that I'm putting ISO 8s on my free-to-play account. Like, not even a little. Who else gets a little love? Carnage. He's a brawler. I'm not really looking to that. Star-Lord doesn't need anything. Scientist Supreme. I kind of talked about AIM a little bit before. Not really impressed in any of them. I got Phoenix the other day. How many red stars on her? I consider Phoenix to be just like everybody else. Like, 4 red stars is the good... Anything under 4 red stars doesn't feel meaningful, so like 4 red stars on every character is probably the star point for you to pay attention. Is Fury worth the grind? Not Bryson, not in the way the grind currently is. The way of the grind right now, Fury is not worth the effort it takes to unlock him, because there are just better options. Like, you have to work on 2 separate teams to get value out of Fury, where a team like, you know, AIM, you don't have to work that hard on, and you'll still be okay. So like, I'm currently kind of like dirtling a little bit. Hey, AK Gunner, how you doing? Let me farm some guys up. Just getting up some guys I care about. 2/3 IW and Shuri. Yeah, but that's farm order. That we're just talking about, is Fury worth it in general? And I don't see it. I don't think I've seen Fury be worth anything. And one thing I do want to do is I want to see... Oh, no, I'm happy you're here, man. I want to see how well I can do in the actual campaign, too. So, let's see how close I can get to unlocking the screen. What power should my aim be with Graviton for 7-1? 140. 120 to 140. 140 is pretty much going to be walkthrough. But it also depends on what version of the team you're using, you know? Power should my aim be for, yeah. So Fury is like a passive farm. Yeah, like Fury... So the reason I'm not even paying attention to Fury, and I'll show you for the same reason. Let me just go to Kree real quick. I really haven't farmed any of them. And like... 1, 2, 3. So 3 of them are already at 3-star. One's almost 4. And I could start targeting him, but right now... He's not worth it. If he unlocked at 3-star like Iron Man, Fury might be the best legendary to start with. For villain 7-1, if you have Zemo, use Zemo. That's fair. It's a lot of investment, but he is a skill character, so it balances out. So what's an SSM being called farmable? Cerebral keeps saying dumb things. Well, he's not farmable. He's accessible. He's not farmable. Aim is war offense or defense. Depends on... So here's the thing, right? If you put aim on defense, what you're saying is beat this team with defenders. So if you know a lot of people in your current like war setup have defenders on defense, aim actually is a pretty good defense team. If you're not seeing that many defenders when you go in, then like use aim on offense. They're good at countering stuff, you know? So it really depends on you and where you're at. Also full aim Graviton can do villains 1-3 at 30k. It can do it at 110k. It's very possible to be done way earlier. I don't, but possibility is not advocation. It used to be Y2 Friday, now in Triple Tony. Get the big MSF rate. What's up, Randall? Yeah, just wait until we... Yeah, and again, I'm so many things just aren't here yet, right? Like, we don't have level 80, even though we know we're getting level 80. We don't have gear tier 15, even though we know we're getting gear tier 15. ISO 8s were supposed to come out of November of 2019, and they came out like 2 weeks ago. Quantum question 3 times as often. There you go, Fant Randall. So, like, Symbiote Spider-Man. Like, the #1 question I've been getting for the last, like, month is, like, Symbiote Spider-Man, milestone orbs, when? Yes, that's actually the way it's been asked to me, because English is hard. And I'm like, whenever they fucking want. Like, you know, like, I don't know when... I can't speak for when they make their decisions. I can only speak based on what ideas they have, or what I've seen that they have. So, like, here he is. Symbiote Spider-Man is in milestone orbs now. Congratulations. I opened 75 yesterday, and I got 15 shards. Like, I opened 75 orbs, and I got 15. I'm on, to be fair, I'm on my way to 300, so, like, it doesn't matter. It's gonna happen one day or it isn't, you know? But, like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to, like, assume that I'm going to get him one day? Like, the drop rate on those milestone orb characters is notoriously horrendous. Would you miss? Nothing. Boop. Boop. Oh, and let me just say a couple of things that I've heard a lot of people talk about. She-Hulk will not be needed for a legendary unlock. So if you hear someone saying that, ask them who told them. And then you know that person's a liar whose pants are currently aflame. She-Hulk is not necessary for a legendary unlock. The reason She-Hulk is $50 is because she ain't worth anything. So why would they charge $24.99 for a character people aren't going to buy when they can charge $50 for a character that, like, if there's some people who are just going to buy a new character. I used to be one of those people. I used to be one of those people, you know, who was just going to buy a new character whenever I wanted to. And now I just didn't. Like, I didn't buy Beast, Kitty Pryde, Gambit, and the other 3 to come out with new patches for Legendary. Also, no. To my knowledge, no. Those are just 3 random characters that are coming out. Am I doing a roster review for this account? Yes, I am. Yes, I am going to do a roster review for this account. I was going to wait for the end. Like, I was going to wait for the setup. So... It's a good idea to put healer on everyone you're going to take in Dark Dimension 2. Is it a good idea to do that? It's not bad, man. It's not a bad idea. The cool thing is, at level 1 healer, you know, it's not unreasonable. There are some fights you wouldn't do it on. You know, like, you wouldn't do it if there was Doctor Strange, because that's a whole bunch of heals that are going to become debuffs. But, yeah, it's not a bad idea. I don't think you need to if you have the right kind of team set up for Dark Dimension 2. Then, you know, if it... Keep in mind, ISO 8s are just supposed to make things easier, so healer will absolutely make it easier. I missed IW last pass. Looking forward to getting 6 IW. Nice, man. What am I buying? Alright, let's open some Blue Gear Raid Orbs. Kitty Pryde, Gambit, and the 3 others that come with the next 2 patches. No. All my information was that the next Legendary Unlock team was going to be the Quantum team. Says the MSF rumor. It feels like we know some of the info on the horizon, but posts have been announced slower, weeks been clogged, or just building some symbiote type. I mean, like the last month and a half, we've pretty much leaked every possible thing for the next 2 months. Like, the only things that people aren't aware of is who the next legendary character are, which I have a list of characters it could be. The only one I know for a fact it isn't is Black Knight, because I know he was pushed back. But that's it. I know that the Quantum team with Yellow Jacket, Ghost, and Stature is supposed to be the team that's used for the next legendary unlock. The next legendary unlock. So that's one thing. I know Kitty Pryde, Gambit, and see, everyone's saying Gambit. My information said Jubilee. My information said Kitty Pryde, Jubilee, and Iceman. I get my brows done. I get my brows done, dude. I used to have an eyebrow piercing right here, which is why you can kind of see it, but yeah, I get my brows done. I do with myself now because crazy, but I'm gonna unlock Star-Lord next time. I'm wondering if he's still essential for DD2. Is he essential? No. No, I've already told people what the best team for Dark Dimension 2 is. It's like Thanos, Maw, Minerva, Symbiote Spider-Man, and Carnage. That team is just the absolute best possible team. The problem is no one's going to get them. So it's not essential, but it is. If you have Star-Lord, Minerva, and Invisible Woman, it doesn't actually matter what else you do, because those 3 characters are all you need. The other 2 characters can be whoever you want. I'm just waiting for someone to say in the car. Do you know who the legendary unlock is? So my information had MODOK, but I don't know if that's still true. I don't know if that's still true, because there was also supposed to be a Black Widow movie tie-in that keeps getting pushed back, so like I don't know. You know what I mean? Currently hoarding orbs because Anti-Venom is going to be an orb opening milestone, correct? No, he's not going to be an orb opening milestone. I'm sorry, that statement was incorrect, Tower. The orb opening milestone is going to be a specific to the event orb. You have to open orbs that you get from playing in the event, and that event, think like Cyclops or Negasonic Teenage Warhead. That's the kind of event. Yeah, Emma's coming back probably by the end of this month, I would say. Maybe the last week of this month. Somewhere around the time Anti-Venom's event will take place. Do I know who the next legendary unlock is? To my knowledge, the Quantum team was supposed to unlock MODOK. But again, that can change. I don't have... the reason I don't have the information is because, no joke, they don't have the information. Next week? Oh, that's earlier than I thought. That's earlier than I thought. I thought it was the end of the month. Two total. Is that true? Maybe. I was under the impression... I originally thought... So here's the thing. I think what happened is I said something, everyone rolled with it, and then I corrected myself and no one picked that up. I said originally, when it first came out, Emma was only going to have 2 milestones. When it first happened, I said Emma was only going to have 2. Then her milestone ended, and the information I got was she's going to have 2 more milestones. So I then said that, and I feel like some people just kind of never got that memo. It's kind of like what happens when I intentionally give bad advice and then wait for someone to make a video about it, and then they have to, like, correct themselves because they're like, I heard from someone that so-and-so is happening. And I'm like, oh, who was that? Well, that wasn't right. Like, yeah, I know. Because I'm petty. His Negasonic event was the Unity one, right? Yeah. I think it was called the Unity event. Do you think Emma, SSM, Minerva, Carnage, and Star-Lord would be a good team for the first Dark Dimension run? It's totally a great team. Emma will give you a ton of sustain because of turn meter. Minerva and Star-Lord will set up so you're doing a ton of damage with Minerva's ult. Keep in mind, the reason... No series of characters will outdo Minerva/Maw when it comes to Dark Dimension. No amount of strength on your character will ever do more damage than what Minerva can do. Do you know the next legendary event? Like, who's the next legendary character? It's Star-Lord. The next legendary that's coming, the next legendary event is Star-Lord. Only 142 days in. Congrats. Chimichangas and assembly orbs? No. I mean, you're going to Blitz, and you're going to complete tasks, and then you're going to get a random ass orb. Yeah, kind of like that. You'll get a random orb, and then that orb will have whatever, probably some shards of the character, but some other stuff on the side. You know, it'll be like an orb with like 10, 15 characters in it, and every time you open the orb, you have a chance of pulling 5 to 8 shards of Anti-Venom, but you also are progressing towards a milestone, and every so number of milestones you will get Anti-Venom. Is it worth investing in Carnage if I don't have SSM or Venom? No, absolutely not. Get Scream. Go ahead and get her. The event is fine, and we'll do it together here. But don't invest in him. Technically, you can invest in him because you're going to eventually, but like he ain't a high priority. What about me? I unlocked Venom, but no Symbiote Spider-Man. I also wouldn't necessarily... Venom's okay. Like, Venom's not a bad character at the beginning and the middle of the game, but, like, without... Like, when you say invest, what do you mean? Because when I hear invest, I hear put into a character until they can do what I need them to. I don't hear make them gear tier 14, 7775, because that's a waste of resources, and we don't get enough of them. How close should I be to unlocking Magneto at this point? How many days you played, Mal30? Because I'm unlocking Magneto, and I would have had him on the first pass, I just didn't, because they moved him up like 2 weeks, so. Was She-Hulk modeled after... I don't know. She-Hulk was modeled after a terrible, terrible, terrible tragedy. What's the best team to use for the stream event? The strongest 5 characters you have. Let's do the stream event and see what I can do. Oh. I do not respect in any way my hand. Okay. Let's see if I can do any hard fights. First one's easy. You just... First fight you always want to do on hard. Is aim good for DD2? No. Good chat. Victory Aimworth question. It's a good team. Doesn't mean it's a great team. Not that you would ever get your best info nuggets behind a paywall, but could you call it Tonely fans? Oh, I don't get anything behind a paywall. I just talk. Squirrel Girl, She-Hulk, Negasonic, X23 had neck issues in their art. They kind of do. Yeah. If you said symbiotes were farmable, then they'd be a better start off. If SSM had a calendar like Widowmaker, would the symbiotes still be better than Star-Lord? You mean like if at the end of the first day? Okay. So if like 30 days into the game you were guaranteed a 3-star Symbiote Spider-Man, yeah. You farm the symbiotes, and then you can farm for Star-Lord, or you can work up the Sinister Six. It doesn't actually matter. You can literally build the entire roster of Spider-Verse characters to begin the game, and it wouldn't hurt you, you know, because that's 3 legendaries. You'd miss out on Star-Lord, but the strength of the symbiotes inherently is so high that, like, it doesn't actually make a difference. Or do they all have to be farmable past unlock? I would prefer... Symbiote Spider-Man is a rare occurrence in this game. He is a character that is among the strongest characters in the game. Like, the day you get him, like your entire game plays differently. If there was an offer the day you started that was like Symbiote Spider-Man unlocked on day one, like I would recommend buy it. You know, like it's going to help you. So I think I'm just gonna take Star-Lord, Minerva, Hela, IWSSM into DD2. Yeah, that's great. That team is phenomenal, dude. Like, yeah, you probably like will do it in a day, maybe 2 if you're tired. Did everyone just get 5? Yeah, we all got 5 Symbiote Spider-Man shards. The generosity of Foxnex is magnanimous. Do odds improve after opening a ton of orbs? No, there's no improvement of any odds. Weighted RNG sucks, no matter how you slice it. So let's... I don't want to put Rocket on this team, so I'm not gonna. Let's try these idiots. SSM impacted my roster more than Ultron. I believe that. I would believe that. That makes sense. Symbiote Spider, but you also have to remember Symbiote Spider-Man came out a year plus. Sean Thomas, thank you. That was amazing. Thank you so much. Symbiote Spider-Man is a character that came out like 13 months. 13 months after Any tips for Blitz Blues? Thanks, Sean. Appreciate you, man. Mobile gamer scream trash. I got trash! I got it. 4-month player going from not liking Blitz to being sick of it. Any tips for Blitz Blues? In general, I tell people to don't even pay attention to Blitz until you're at like 1,000,000 TCP. Usually because at 1,000,000 TCP, you've probably worked out a couple of good teams, right? I'm at 1,000,000 right now. I probably have about 4, maybe 5 usable teams in Blitz that I can win in high fights for it. But ultimately, how I handle Blitz on both my free-to-play and my main account is I just click auto. I just go... Basically, I try to get my Blitz schedule down to when I'm going to log into the game anyway for stuff like raids or, you know, war, and I just go in. I mean, we have Scream here. Is it possible to get Magneto if I have all the characters 2-star time-wise for shards? As a free-to-play player or without spending money, I think Magneto is probably about 30 some odd days away. So I feel like that's going to be cutting it really, really, really close. You will definitely be able to get a couple of characters to 5, but I don't know about all of them considering just how much energy you have to dump in to make that happen. If you had 3 luxury T4s for your main account, what would you do? That's a hard question, Dan. That's a good question, but like the problem is I'm very, very finicky when it comes to how I spend my resources. So if I had 3 luxuries, I would probably put them into characters like Elsa Bloodstone for the Supernatural team. That's a team that could use a little bit of love. I might put some into the X-Force. Just to make them a little bit stronger for what I'm doing right now. That's pretty much it. Not many. 7KX from 70 for me. Nice. Nice salvation. After unlocking all legendaries, what's next? Yeah, just build up war teams. Like, that's my general advice. Like, start trying to get teams in 50Ks. So 50K, 100K, 150, 200. You'll find that I recommend working on teams that are going to be war offense teams first because you're only as good as the fights you win, not the fights you hold up on defense. But there's always something to work on. I just think war becomes more and more relevant the wider your roster gets. And because your roster is wide enough, you can do so much more. I love Supernatural, man. I love Supernatural. Just down to the last 2, I'll probably refresh their nodes. Yeah. And remember, you have 3 days from the start of the event, too, for Magneto. So it's not like you have until the day it starts. You have a couple times. Is it not worth it going for Fury until you have Coulson? No, that's what I've said, Dan, many times. I wouldn't even begin to worry about Fury right now until after I've unlocked Coulson, because that's pretty much where they're going. It's not to say they can't be useful. It's just the effort isn't worth the juice isn't worth the squeeze on Fury anymore. Again, if he unlocked at 3-star, that's a different story entirely. If Fury was a 3-star unlock, I'd be, yeah, I would be recommending everybody farm him first. You know, farm up the Kree to 3-star, unlock Nick Fury, and work on S.H.I.E.L.D. Because that team will be great. For, like, raids and everything, basically. They're still great in U6, Fury S.H.I.E.L.D. You know, I haven't done U6 in God knows how long. But I was able to, when we went back to do that U6.5, U6.4, to get all the rewards and everything. I just used Fury S.H.I.E.L.D. just to make sure they were still great. And yeah, no, they're still great. Yeah. That's fair, Wade. You're not going to love war. Like, the worst thing is, like, look at my war experience. I get 4 or 5 war attacks in, and then I'm useless. You know, like, that's it for me. I could do a cleanup, maybe, or I can, you know, like, take out shield minions until the cows come home. But as far as war itself, like, I got 4 or 5 attacks. All I want to do is have more attacks, you know? If someone with a 60-day account doesn't mind spending a little bit of money, would you suggest getting the Supernatural team would be worth it? No. I don't think that's the best way to spend $24.99, Chris Slater, if that's the answer to your question. I think that there's way better uses for $24.99 than that. I did a video kind of describing where you're comfortable spending money and what you should buy as a result of it. I'm actually going to turn this light up because I feel like I'm a little too dark. Nope, that somehow made it worse. Thanks, bad light. Some with the 60 account. Yeah, I think, you know, I don't know. It's super hard to talk about with other people because you can watch me over the course of a month spend $400 on multiple different mobile games and be like, Tony, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just spending money. And then it's hard for me to then go to somebody else and be like, no, but you totally should buy this or don't buy this. You know, like, I'm a little bit more free with the amount of money I'm willing to spend on bullshit-ass mobile games. Like, I gave Genshin Impact like $40 just to see if it was worth it. And no, it wasn't. Genshin Impact is fucking fun. No money required. Like, so, and then some other guy just reached out to me and they're like, hey, could you do some content for our game? I'm like, I've literally never heard of your game. So fuck yeah, I'm going to do content for your game. And I just like to get that idea. So like $24.99, it's a good offer. All of those $24.99 offers are really good. It's you know, 500 character shards and good character shards. But I don't think Supernatural is one of those teams where I think you're going to get value out of it, you know? Like when you go into the Mystic campaign for the first time, you're going to be like, this is great. And then you probably could have done it on your own. They don't need to be that strong. Right, Mal30? Yeah. It's also, yeah, it also gives you a ton of Mordo shards. It's a good pack. I just don't know if it's the best $24. Like, always look at spending money in terms of how much time it's saving you. And that's it. Are the 24 energy or 12 energy ISO nodes better? I think the 12 ones are better when it comes for, like, the 12 ISO 8 energy nodes are significantly better at getting more ISOs that you want. The 24 ones, I'd say are probably a little bit weak, but that's just me. Imagine if I don't have Symbiote Spider-Man. Who would I place? On this team? See, if you don't have Symbiote Spider-Man, this is... You can't just replace Symbiote Spider-Man. Like, anything Symbiote Spider-Man does, he does better than any other option. So I'd probably not use Carnage and Venom either. I'd probably use some... whatever version of this team I could pull off with, like, hero brawlers. Maybe Rocket and a healer. Maybe Groot if he's available. I actually don't know. New lighting? No. I just don't have any other lights on. I'm only using my my ring light. 2 legendaries. Sinister 6-pack allows you to work on 2 legendary unlocks. Yeah, I think that, but that's that's $24.99 for 100 character shards that help you towards 2 legendaries. I think that's just great money. I would buy Supernatural. Yeah, I think it's a great team. I think it's a good value. I never said it wasn't worth $24.99. I said I don't think it was the most value you can get for $24.99. Especially because he phrased it in a way saying like, I'm comfortable spending money. I've had people come in and be like, yo, I'm a big fat blubbery whale. I'm like, all right, bro, $200. This is what you buy. You know what I mean? Like, give me an amount of money and I'll tell you what to buy with it. But, like, just in general, like, I don't think Supernatural for $24.99 is as impactful as, say, you know, well, pretty much any of the other $24.99 are. It's probably a little bit better than the, what's it called one? The Shield one, or the Wave one about... Yeah, no, the Shield one that has a Hawkeye and everything. It's still awesome if you did, man. That's 100 extra character shards. It's a big deal. Most of those packs are just good value in general, so I get it. Are the symbiotes without Anti-Venom a counter to Asgardians? Yeah. Yeah. The 3, actually, unfortunately, the symbiotes without Anti-Venom and Scream are a counter to Asgardians. Scream doesn't do much because she's far too squishy. But the 3 main symbiotes, Carnage, Venom, and Symbiote Spider-Man, can beat the Asgardians on their own. The other 2 characters are just kind of like there. I'm disappointed I put so much into Defenders. How much did you put into your Defenders? You shouldn't be. You have them. They're a good team. You can use them. They'll probably sell you Mordo shards alone for 25 bucks. Yeah. Don't be disappointed in putting into the Defenders. If they're less than 200k, or if they're around 200k, like, that's fine. 450k? Okay, no, I could see some disappointment. Yeah, no, I could see that being an issue. But then again, now you just get to put your Defenders on defense and war, you know? So that's not a bad thing. You just have a really strong Defenders team on defense. Been around forever, it's not that surprising though. Yeah, like my Defenders are 320k, and I think like Punisher and what's her name? JJ are the only gear tier 13s I have on that team. My Scream does real work clearing stealth. Oh yeah, no, that's 100% accurate. See, I don't like clearing stealth. I like killing, what's his name? Greg, until the turn meter is up so many times that I can then, like, AoE everyone down and stuff. I remember you saying DD4's origin tag. Yes. It's too early to see the fights. You know? I remember seeing DD4 being tagged to origin. Could be wrong. Don't know. Don't actually know it. I just remember seeing that. So if DD4 is tagged to origins, if it's 20 nodes and it's tagged to origins, then, like, I get it. But you can kind of guess, like, there aren't more than 5 good skill characters, you know what I mean? Greg is the best guy on my team. Greg is always the best guy on my team. What are you planning on making a Phoenix Spotlight? So the next 2 Spotlights that are coming out are Magneto and Black Bolt. Then I'm going to do Phoenix, Maw, and what's his name? I guess I'll figure out a way to do Nick Fury. I just assume that if I wait long enough, I won't have to for Nick Fury, because he'll just be retired. Yeah, no problem, Assad. You waiting for his retirement then? I mean, like, there's literally no reason to unlock Nick Fury right now. Spotlights? It's just right here. See? Yeah, that was the last one. Doc Ock. It was Maw, Phoenix, Maw, and Doc Ock were the last 3. I'm not doing Iron Man. I'm not doing it. You can't make me. I mean, technically you can make me by asking, but it's no reason to, because it's not like Iron Man's a character that people need to, like, respect or care about. Hey, why did these guys all go first? Like, why did this happen? Power creep's a little depressing sometimes. Yeah, but then they usually just add 1 character to the mix, and you're like, oh, what? This team is great now. Oh, okay, Chris. Yeah, like, if you're asking me if $24.99 is like is worth what you spend to get it, yeah, yes, absolutely. Best $24.99 you could probably spend in this game is any of those team packs, and a Supernatural one will go a long way for you. You know, I think that's totally reasonable. I don't like to be the guy to tell, like, oh, buy it. Like, I don't know what your money's like, man. Is Sinister ideal for Healer ISO 8, or is there a better idea? Nah, Healer's real good on Sinister, man. Healer's real good on Sinister. Because he's always healing, so, like, it's pretty decent. Would you... So, apparently Nick Fury is going to be a PvP event or something as his permanent event? Yeah, no one actually has information. Actually, that's not true. 2 people have information about that. Me and Josh. So if you're hearing information about Nick Fury's event and it's anybody but me and Casino talking about it, they don't know. Because I know I didn't tell anybody. And Josh may have told somebody. But that is not what Nick Fury's event is. Would you guess Revitalizes shield? Yo-Yo revitalizes shield. Who would I guess if they had to bring a character out? Oh, God, that's such a hard flex. Alright, so yeah, that team was viciously capable of completing that. So I've now reached more or less the point in my roster where hard challenges aren't that hard for me when it comes to campaigns. Because I've been able to do the last couple without really worrying. So that's a good feeling. That's your paying X-Force for Doom 1. What TCP would you recommend? For Doom Campaign 1, 200k starting. You shouldn't bring any team under 200k into Doom Campaign 1. Doom Campaign is endgame content, you know? Like, you might be able to, like, mismatch, work on, like, 2 members of the X-Force, and then just put together hybrid teams. That's what I did for most of them, but... Yeah. That's a hard... Ooh. Is this going to be enough to unlock Scream immediately so I don't have to worry about this anymore? It was not. Yes, Mr. J, I agree with that. I'm reading my group chat down there. There was a false mail last week that said we can recruit Fury from PvP. Yeah. Yeah. That might... Well... That statement is interesting. The idea of what Fury's retirement will look like. I wouldn't necessarily take that away. But... what is this? Can I buy any of these? Do I want to? Yeah, I'll buy one of those. In general, I don't care to open these, but I'll buy at certain numbers. Like, I'll buy... 3, I'll buy the 9th one, I'll buy the, you know, the 18th one, you know what I mean? Like, just numbers that make sense for unlocking. I'm gonna pick this up. And none of these guys also... Ugh, no thank you. Sif is done. I'll buy Graviton. Some person on my team said they might have the minion requirement taken away, but that was pure speculation. That would be amazing if they took the minion requirement away from Nick Fury. It's still, like, literally impossible to farm him. But I haven't heard that. So I would approve of that. So you said the 5th character could be anyone for DD2 and an easy success. Throw in Ravager Stitcher and let's prove it. I don't have to prove anything. I'm already the smartest person who is content creating for this game. Like, I haven't had to prove anything about my content for about 6 months. Yeah, not the smartest person playing this game, but definitely the smartest content creator. Oh no, no, I'm dumb as dog shit. But that's all you need to know about everything else, though. Yeah, you're also misquoted me, Alley Games. What I said was, the 5th character doesn't matter, comma, so invest in a character you'd like to use in the endgame. Because there is no justification for taking a character like Night Nurse or Korath or Ravager Boomer up to gear tier 13. That there just doesn't exist. You know, the only justification is you're a whale. That's it. So yeah, there's just no reason to do that. ISO story. AIM was with SHIELD, and the villains, they were with Doom. What the fuck, Tony? AIM is the, well, I think in the ISO story, Scientist Supreme was the person who figured out how to use ISO 8s. So, there's that. Do I want to put ISOs on her? Kinda do. Kinda do. Not a lot, just a little. Alright, these guys are done. Researcher, Security, and Scientist Supreme. Graviton's got a while before I care about him. Guess I can afford to bring these guys up a bit. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Sorry, regular Spider-Man. You're not good enough. You don't earn it. Scarlet Witch can get that. AIM are the real good guys here. I don't inherently disagree with that. God damn. Yeah, 20k ain't shit, so we can go ahead and spend that. Just going ahead. How did this happen? This is hilarious. Some of this bottom of my roster stuff. Ah, man. Man, no Taskmaster investment is wild to see. What game mode? What game mode am I looking out of my way to invest in Task? Like, what is Taskmaster investment cost to me? Like, what do I get from investing in Taskmaster? You know, like, if I had stars, you know, if he was farmable, then like maybe PvP, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, like. And even then, like, it's not hard to get a character to gear tier 9. Let me see what else I'm working on. Trust me, if I was not free to play, there would be, like, no Shuri investment. I actually, even the last video I dropped, which was about Legendary Spotlight for Shuri, I discussed, like, dude, in endgame, she's amazing. I love her. I love her to death. But I don't need her now because I got Minerva. If I didn't have Minerva, yeah, I'd probably be using Shuri. So she would probably be a lot stronger, but that is what it is. Let's go to milestones, finish up on these. Let's go into raids, do some raid nodes. Will they remove farmable characters from the store? No. Let me be clear on that. They have no plans to. Could they? Yeah, of course they could. They never have. They have moved a character from the store to a node. No, actually that's never true. There's never ever in the history of this game been a situation where they've done that. Is Captain Marvel for the next 3 months? Captain Marvel is a character farm for the next 3 months. I believe it will be a semi-permanent stick, but you know, farmer now. I believe she's going to be a node farm character. I was telling you guys about this a couple months ago. That like they're moving Captain Marvel to a node. You know, I did say that, and then they're putting Symbiote Spider-Man in the milestones. She will stay somewhere. She will never go back to the milestone orbs, ever. Like, she's going to be on a node. But I did tell you guys that they were going to be putting her on a node when Symbiote Spider-Man gets added to the milestone orbs. Farmable. I could imagine that. Don't give him ideas, Winner. You think like War Store? No, I think she'll stay on a node. I don't know if it'll be a node that currently exists or not. Oh no. Please stop shooting my one character. Ah, Greg, good job. I'm so proud of you for taking that energy. Yeah. Alright, that heal block is starting to irk me some. Well, I guess I'll just win this fight. I've only got the 2-star Minerva. Would you use her with a 5-star Shuri? Yeah. 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 I mean, it's not a 1-for-1. Well, the problem is Shuri needs a lot of... Both of them need a lot of investment. Shuri just always needs a lot of investment. I'm not dealing with this. I'm just going to heal. How do you decide which character goes to which store? Monetary incentive. Characters that are more likely to sell are easier to access. Characters that are less likely to sell are going to be placed in more difficult to obtain. For example, Domino is dog shit, right? Domino is a dog shit character. You need her, but she's not important. So they put her as one of the hardest to get characters that you need for a legendary unlock. Where do I think Emma will end up? We are a while away, but Emma will end up in the Milestone Orb after Coulson gets removed. So Red Skull would be War then? It's theoretically possible for Red Skull to go anywhere. Because he's not a dog shit character, but he's also really only good in 1 or 2 locations. What ISO H do you think should be used on Shuri? Oh, healer. That one is pretty, like, standard. Hey, Scott. My hand sentry had literally 2 left in a raid. Nice, winner. We're going to do the milestone orbs being removed from Emma. What are we going to do with milestone orbs being removed from Emma's event? I don't know what do you mean? Milestone orbs aren't removed from Emma's event. That's the same logic for Taskmaster, right? More or less. But Taskmaster... So there's a slight difference between a war defense character. They aren't giving out frags for milestones. They are removed during the event. Wait a minute. During the event, you will no longer get milestone orb frags anymore? Oh, they're replacing some of the milestone frags with ISO frags. Yeah, that's... How do I feel about that? Fuck you, just give us both. Assholes. But I kind of think ISOs are more important. Yeah. Oh yeah, get fucked, Commander. It's get fucked, Commander. That's it. Yeah. There are no less. Less is not... Less is, first of all, the only thing less is better than is getting punched in the dick. I want to get punched in the dick less than I have. You know? That's it. Oh, no, I'm in trouble. I didn't get to spread the blind. Why are you still alive? Would I so wait till I put on Marauders with Emma? It's a great question. It's a fully loaded question. Can't answer it. Too many things to take into account there. But, you know, what are you doing? Like, where are you putting this stuff? Where do you want these ISO 8s to go? Oh, that was bad. Thank God she somehow had a defense up. Yeah. And you're all dead. Like, war defense. Healer on Emma and Sinister. Striker on Strife. Raider on... Raider on... What's his name? Sabretooth. And Skirmisher on Mystique. That's pretty reasonable. Yeah, but when in doubt, you can always just put healer on people and giggle about it. Did you see them say SSM is the last to milestone orbs? They said seasonal milestone orbs from now on. Oh my god, they're so terrible. Why are they so bad? What is the stars on Hela for? Is 2-star Hela good in raids? Hela's good in raids. Stars don't matter. Stars only matter when you're doing harder raids. So if you notice that you can't use Hela in a U6.5, then it's time to start getting more Hela stars. Striker on Strife, is that because he's too slow for Hero Fortifier? It's because you don't ever put Fortifier on a tank. Let alone a tank that also puts shield on themselves. Just don't do it. Summer milestone, I think. Oh my god, these guys are fucking terrible. Whatever. Like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do tell them no? So healer for Colossus? I really do like healer on Colossus. Especially at rank 3. I don't really pay attention to anything before rank 3. Like, you shouldn't even begin to look at ISO 8s unless you intend on getting them to rank 3. Like, seriously. If you're not like, I'm gonna get this guy to rank 3, like, relatively quickly. Not like within a day, but, you know, like in general, that's the only time you should seriously consider, putting ISO 8s on him in the first place. Like, everyone's like, but I could just put one ISO 8 on everybody. And be like, you can. That is an option. Healer on Beast too? Oh, we don't talk about Beast. If you're putting ISO 8s on Beast, you are having a great time wasting your ISO 8s. Like, I'm not answering... Like, if someone asked me, like, what do I put on the Ravagers? My response would be, like... I don't know. Don't matter. Who gets Fortifier? Characters that are weak. Characters that need to survive a turn. Characters like Domino, Human Torch. For the argument, Deadpool can get Fortifier. I wouldn't, but he could. ISO 8 on hand? Great question. None. Ask yourself this question, guys. If you would buy red stars on the character... Like, not one... Like, if you would put red stars on the character, then you can think about ISO 8s. But if you wouldn't buy red stars on them, don't put ISO 8s on them. This is easy. Nebula gets level 6 striker. Any news on Inhumans? No news. Like, they're coming, but... Is the Optimal X-Men team with Beast in your opinion? I don't have one. There is no Optimal X-Men team with Beast. The Optimal X-Men team doesn't have Beast, I think is the correct answer. How about ISO 8s on Defenders? Yes, don't put any ISO 8s on Defenders. You're welcome. There's no need to put Fortifier on Sif. Fortifier... So Fortifier, it depends on where you are in the game. So the biggest thing about Fortifier is, the weaker you are, the better Fortifier is, right? So let's look at a character. You see how many few protectors? Have you seen how few protectors can use ISO 8s? Here, let's sort, right? Let's look at Groot, right? Let's use Groot as an example. So, if I'm doing content and Groot's getting his ass kicked, like, Fortifier is incredibly good in the early game because it's a free 10,000 health, which, let's look at my current Groot right now. 83,000 health. That's a meaningful amount of health. Like, if he went from 83 to 93, that's not nothing. And then, you know, having a little bit extra shield, getting a little bit max health, a little bit more barrier, going to 20,000. Like, these are huge buffs that, like, you never actually have to bring past level 3, because at level 3, a squishy character becomes less squishy. So if you find your characters having a hard time doing content, you can use ISO 8s to temporarily strengthen them. You know? Like, so that's totally reasonable. You can say, like I put Striker on Symbiote Spider-Man and Hela. Are these the best things for them? No, of course not. Hell, I don't know if Healer is the best thing on Minerva. But right now, I need them to do more damage from what I'm doing. I need Minerva to heal more, because she's not healing that much. And I needed her to have, like, a pretty decent attempt or chance at healing more. So, what Minerva's ISO 8s are going to look like later is not the same as what Minerva's ISO 8s are going to look like right now. Thor. Right now, my Thor has no hit points. So while obviously I might want to have more damage on Thor because that's Thor's job, I have 10 ways of putting more damage on Thor. 10. I can make his gear higher. I can increase the damage of his abilities through these. I can make his level higher. I can get more red stars and stars on him. Because I can increase his damage multiple different ways, what worries me is his survivability. So for Thor right now, I would put Fortifier on him, and then as I invested more gear and he becomes stronger and everything, then I might start leaning into the strengths as opposed to using ISO 8s to make up for weaknesses. Another example, which we were just talking about. Someone just said Pyro. Dude, Pyro is so soft, right? Like, maybe an extra 10, 20,000 shield is the difference between him getting one shot and him surviving long enough to do a thing. In general, Striker is fine on anybody. Striker is like the best because it's just flat damage increase, and damage is one of the best stats in the game. But yeah, for Pyro, do I need him to do more damage? Well, my Pyro, right? I have 10 different ways to make my Pyro stronger right now, as far as damage. And a lot of them is gear. So what I need is my Pyro to survive. And you don't get that much health. When are we getting pet Avengers? I don't know what you mean by that. Please explain. So if Yo-Yo got level 7 ISO 8s for free, she still wouldn't be even on the same level as Beast. That's fair. That's actually true. What's up, Minnow? No, that's something similar. If SSM had a Widowmaker, I answered that, Loner. The second time you answered it, you asked it. Oh no, I guess it was not the same. If SSM has a Widowmaker calendar and Fury's a 3-star unlock, still Symbiote Spider-Man is the best character in the game, or at least in a conversation of top 5, right? You can use him for quite literally all of the content in the game. There's nothing you can't use him for. He's not that great in Arena. That's even questionable. He's okay in War. He's amazing in all of the stuff you have to do every day. All of it. So, Nick Fury is okay. So when you're comparing apples to oranges, you know, you always want to have the thing that's the most impactful. It's why I'm so adamant about Star-Lord being the first farm. Because Star-Lord doesn't matter at level 80, level 75. He doesn't. He does not matter. You can still use him. You'll get value out of the character you invested in. But up to level 70, up to the early stages of the game, Star-Lord is amazing. That's the difference. That's what people don't understand. People see the end game like there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and as soon as they get there, they get this great big pot of gold. That's not how this game works. Never has been, never will be. Because by the time you reach the pot of gold I'm sitting at right now, by the time you have a 6-star Emma, there will be the next milestone character that came out, and it's 1,000 times better. Like, by the time most players got Ultron, that's great, but guess what? Doom's about to come out, and he's going to be a nightmare. Like, he's going to be amazing. So, what are you supposed to do? Drop everything and target farm for Doom? Yeah, okay. Which means you have to target farm for Phoenix. Oh. Wait. And then what? You're just going to suck at War and Blitz and Raids? You're going to spend a shit ton of money? No. Play the game the way the game is designed to be played. That's it. Play the game the way it's designed. Use money to get there faster, but you have to experience a couple of months leveling and not having materials. You have to experience a couple of months challenging yourself to do harder versions of fights that you can previously do. You have to experience that. So there's a difference between a team like the Defenders, a team like AIM, and other characters. Some characters are really good in the early game. Some characters don't hold water in the late game. Some characters are only good in the early game. You want to use the characters that are good at the time they're good. And they're really good. Like Magneto, I love Magneto. He's one of my favorite characters in this game. I wish I had gotten him when he first came out, but I couldn't because they pushed the event up 2 weeks. Literally 2 weeks. I missed it. If I could have had him, guess what? My arena rank would be higher. Period. No question asked. Because access to Magneto is something that changes. You know when that's not going to matter? When everybody has fucking Black Order. So missing out on Legend... That's why you can't just be, I have a strong Defenders team. Like, okay, the second someone gets Team A, Team B, Character B, you drop down a bracket. I have a strong AIM team. Oh, okay, well, you're gone. It doesn't matter who you can win. This is the most important thing about Arena. It doesn't matter who you can beat. It does not matter who you can beat. It matters who can beat you. So if no one can beat you, you will win every fight. You know, like, it doesn't matter. But if only 5 people can beat your team because only 5 people have the characters needed, then you're guaranteed to have a high slot. If 40 people can beat your team, then you're not in first place. You're a top 40 player a top 40 arena player who happened to finish in first place because of time, because you got your attack in right, because you're in a group. I'm on track for Star Wars. Push for Black Bolt, hostile target. Don't worry about war teams. So right now you're getting legendaries that will help you with war teams. So like just get them and invest in them as time goes on. One of the biggest things I'll tell you is that like it's really hard to work on mutants early. But if you wait till later, it's not that big of a deal. So just wait till later. What's the holy trinity for the symbiote team? Anti-Venom, Carnage, and Symbiote Spider-Man. That's the new holy trinity for the symbiotes. And that's also why, if you guys were paying along for the last couple months, why I was like adamant about not doing a video for that team, because I knew for a fact Venom was not going to be a part of the best characters on that team. So like I don't like to do teams until they're done. So you guys now know that there's a reason why so-and-so or what's-his-face is the best versions of characters. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, there's no real point, dude. Put Avengers, our Throg, Lockjaw, Lockheed, Google them, man. The best Avengers. We're not getting Lockjaw, man. Like, no, I'm missing a ton of one resource that I just never bought. Also, ISO 8s have been a higher priority because I now get to look at a roster like mine. You know? I get to look at a roster like mine as a free-to-play and as a like casual whale, I guess is a weird way of phrasing that. Dolphin? Whatever. And then look and say, like, oh, ISO 8s have different value. Like, there is no one right answer for what the right ISO 8 is. Very few characters are like, this is the ISO 8 they get. Sorry. So anyone looking for a tier list, doors on the left. Anyone looking to be spoon-fed information about how to be good at this game doesn't exist, and you're probably going to get bad information. As a matter of fact, most people who end up in my streams are people who received bad information at one point or another. Or got my information and it ended up helping them. That's most people end up in my streams. The other people are, you know, drug addicts. I'll buy that. And nope, still not here. One more refresh. Yeah. I'm literally farming for one piece. Costs so much. I'm taking from 4 to 5, though. You should not be bringing any character to 5. Not a single one. There's no character in this game. Treat ISO 8s like red stars and you'll run into no issues ever again. Not a single character should be brought to 5. The upgrade, the value of the 5, it costs... You can bring 2 characters from 0 to 4. 0 to 4 for what it costs to go from 4 to 5. There's no benefit a character gets going from 4 to 5. There's no benefit. Can you show us some DD2 battles stream? When I will only exponential increase? No, it's not even exponential. It's diminishing returns by definition. Dude. Look at every single one. I think only one of them is meaningful, right? Striker. The last increase is 100% base damage and 5% increase. It's literally level 3 again. If it was like more on the ISO attack and more base damage, yes. What if it's a character used in every game mode? Okay. There is no reason to ever bring a character to ISO 5. We're done? We're good, right? No reason. No reason. 10% max health is a benefit. 10% max health is a benefit. Is actually 10% max health is the best benefit of most of the ISO 8s. Yeah. Fortifier. Oh, look. This goes to 7% barrier on turn. Fucking... what? Why? Yeah, is it great? Yeah, and will there one day be a reason to bring characters to ISO 8 level 5? Yeah, of course there will. Of course there will. There is currently no reason to bring any character to level 5. What about the 2% health and attack? I'm not even dignifying that with a fucking response. I mean, in the same vein from 4 to 5, the 3 to 4. Sure, I just mean the same vein from 4 to 5, 3 to 4. There is a reason to go from 3 to 4. And also, just for the record, it is incredibly easy to get characters to 3. Incredibly easy. You know? Like, that is easy. Getting characters to 4... So we did the math the other day. If you bring every character to level 3 that you care about... Of course there's a whale out there. Because there's whales... If you're... Never do what whales do. Unless you're a whale. Then do what the whale does. Taking advice from someone who outspends you by a marginally nigh infinite % is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. The dumbest thing I've ever heard. If somebody has a 150k character and no experience with weaker versions of that character, you really have to take the words they say with a grain of salt. Myself included. Like, I'm including myself in this conversation. My Black Bolt is like 112k. So I'm like, yeah, I put Striker on him and, he hits real hard. You might be like, you know what, he can use a little bit extra damage. I'm telling you, no, get him to 7-star, you'll be fine. No, you'll be fine. There's no reason to bring any single character up to 5. I don't make content for people that have more money than sense. I don't. I make content for people who want to know what the right answer is. And the right answer is there's no reason to bring any character to ISO 8 level 5. Healer's benefit. 10% active healing. I'm not talking about mobile. Mobile doesn't try to give advice. Mobile actually never gives advice. People take what mobile says, and they're like, that's what mobile did. They're like, yeah, there's a difference. Mobile doesn't give advice. Mobile just does stuff. And a lot of times he says, like, I don't know if this is right. As a matter of fact, I think I don't know if this is right is, like, the most common mobile gamer phrase. So, like, mobile is honest about it. The fact that other people go, like, I saw mobile do this, so it has to be right, that's on y'all. I'm not waiting on a 5th character. I'm missing 32 pieces of tech gear. Specifically one type of tech gear. Everything else is done. I'm exclusively missing 32 pieces of tech gear. And it's the what are they called? I always forget their name now. I think the only thing you're confusing me is that you might need a character to have a different role depending on the situation. Yeah, you might have to have a character with a different role based on the situation. And in that case, you still never need a character to level 5. Charge particle. Thank you, sir. I think Skirmisher is the only one where the upgrade is worth it. So if there's a character that you know for a fact is going to be a permanent Skirmisher, this is a 2 buff clear and an increase in focus. This is a huge buff. Huge buff. You shouldn't be investing ISO 8s in teams. You should be investing ISO 8s in characters. This is very meaningless. Specifically charged particles. The only thing I'm missing is charged particles. Seriously. Here, I'll show you. And it's because I literally never bought them. This is the only piece I'm missing. Apart from the achievement, I guess, and that's debatable. How would you rate all the game modes? In terms of enjoyability? Or in terms of, like, value? In terms of whether they could be better? Yeah, it's literally only charged particles, too. Like, every other piece, I have more than enough to build anything. Nice. MG put Striker on Emma, says it's the best. Striker? Fucking why? It's literally the worst. For Emma, specifically, it's the worst. She does no damage. 5% of 0 is 0. Getting a bonus attack on an attack that's already removing buffs. Like, who are you hitting? She flips more debuffs? What the fuck? What situations do your characters still have buffs? Like, how many buffs does she need to fucking flip? She flips 2 on her basic. Does she? And if that's arguable, if that's correct, then give her Skirmisher, and she'll just do it on her normal attack. I like Raider on Yo-Yo. Fortifier is okay on Yo-Yo because she does need to stay alive, and a lot of people don't have a really strong Yo-Yo. So that's an example of a character you'd put Fortifier on, just to keep her up a little bit. Not a fan of Healer. I'm okay with Skirmisher. But I don't think she needs it, because Black Bull is her Skirmisher, if that makes sense. He's not at... I have all of the bio gear I need for Carnage. What I'm actually missing, interesting enough, I'm missing these. I'm not really worried about. I could kind of pick these up literally whenever I want. Like this, you know. Stop. Make me do this. See? Like, this doesn't matter. It's this. This is what I'm missing. Why aren't you a fan of Healer? I'm a huge fan of Healer. I have Healer on Emma. I have Healer on my main account. I have Healer on Emma. I have Healer on Thanos for raids. I have Healer on Sinister. I have Healer on Colossus. I have Healer on... Oh, you mean specifically for Yo-Yo? No, I'm not a fan of the rank 5 on any of these abilities, except if you find a character that you think should be Skirmisher, level 5 on Skirmisher is... Yo, Shuri absolutely gets Healer. Shuri needs to get Healer. Anything on Twitch tonight? Yes. What? I don't know yet. Top. You may not know this, but top men have worked out on the spreadsheet. Literally top men. Okay. So I just have a question, Alec. If there's a spreadsheet that were worked on by the best players in this game, or the best content creators in this game, why am I not aware of it? Because I would have been a part of that spreadsheet. You know what I mean? Just got Ultron. What do I use now? Use Ultron for second day at DD2? Yes. Slider, who did you use? Oh, yeah. Active Healer is definitely awesome. The level 3. But again, like level 3... Like, so the cool thing is, most characters heal based on max health. So, like, it's kind of obvious you want to get this. It's not unreliable, Michael Schiffer. It's not unreliable. The fact that the spreadsheet is constantly changing actually leads me to believe that they're actually doing work on it. But more importantly, and the most importantly, everybody rushed really fucking quickly to get content out, and all of it was fucking dog shit. Oh, Mike's cool. All of it. It's like all the people who rushed into Dark Dimension 2. Remember all the people, Dark Dimension 3. Remember all the people who rushed into Dark Dimension 3 and were like, yeah, dude, you gotta use Shield Trooper. You gotta put Shield Trooper in. And then like a week and a half later, they're like, oh my God, how did I do this? Why do I have Shield Trooper? I'm such an idiot. It's like, uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Slapping healer on SSM. Yeah, oh yeah. I slap healer on anybody, man. Healer's great. Healer's like my favorite. Like, just put fucking healer on him. You will never regret just putting healer on anybody. And that's why it's so cool. Because look, right? So say you get a character, right? And say you get a character to level 4. So it costs you, what is it? I think it's like 30,000 total ions to get a character to level 4. Maybe 35,000. It's like, you know, 5. No, not even. 30,000. 25, 5, yeah, no, I was right. Maybe 40. So it's, this costs 5, this costs 10, this costs 15? Is that the math? It doesn't matter. You get a character to here, it's not that much to get in, to change it. 5, 15, 25k? Yeah, that's a lot, but it's not that much to be like, oh, well then I guess I'll just, you know, swap the character out. So yeah, you lose a little bit of resources, and that sucks, but it's not permanent, you know? It's not like putting a tier 4 in a character that wasn't worth it. If you put a tier 4 in a character that isn't worth it, you just wasted the tier 4s. Like Daredevil's fucking passive. That's just a waste of tier 4s. You're never getting that money back. It's 22,500 for 5. Exactly, which is why you should never put any character to 5. Like, just from a worth perspective, what benefit, guys, are you getting bringing any character to ISO 8.5? What is worth that much resources? Listen, 2 months down the road, January of 2021, we may be having this conversation. I may be like, these guys are worth bringing to 5. That's months down the road, after rosters have widened out, after we've had events where they get more stuff, after players have been able to kind of feel out the system, and they've gotten most of the value, because like I said, it is literally, for every time you would bring a character from 4 to 5, that's 2 characters you could bring from 0 to 4. 2 characters. If you do 1 to 3, I think it's like dumber. I think it's like way more, like 8. No, 7. It's 7. In the cost, but that's the cost going from like 3 to 5 versus that. Like, it's absurd. So you could bring everyone to 3 and then decide the characters you care about that need the health pool. I like 4 because, again, we're not looking at, Tony, what would you do with the symbiotes? What am I going to do with the symbiotes? Nothing. They're the best fucking team in the game. I can make a mistake. I could literally put Fortifier on all of them, and they're still going to be the best team in the game. Like, what's going to change? I could put the worst ISO 8 on all of them, I could put, like, Raider on all of them. And they're still the best team in the game. Black Order. Well, Tony, what do I do on the Black Order? Doesn't matter. They're literally, well, before the Symbiote, before Anti-Venom anyway, like, the best team in the game. Like, you could put Raider on all of them and just chuckle. Like, it doesn't matter. That's why ISO 8s are so great. You literally can't fuck up. What teams can the Symbiotes not beat? It depends on power, but as of right now, the Symbiotes should be able to beat every single team in the game. Through just sheer stick-to-itiveness, you know, just by the control that they offer. I put class 2 on my main characters and started hoarding till I figure out what to invest. I'm bringing up more characters to 2 and 3 on my main account. Why do you have... Who do you have as a raider? This is my free-to-play account, so I have nobody as a raider. My free-to-play account, it's just, you know, like, do what you got. Like, none of it matters. Like, Symbiote Spider-Man, there's no wrong answer. Honestly, like, Symbiote Spider-Man and Carnage should probably both get healer. Like, seriously. They should probably, for what I'm doing, they should probably both get healer, but... If you don't think I can mess up on ISO 8s on Symbiotes, I'll find a way to prove you wrong. All it'll cost you is a resource, and that resource that you use, the ions, it, like, days. Days. It'll take you just, not weeks, not months, not RNG on your side, just days to make your Oopsie-Doo gone. Just days. Even if right now you have a level 5 character, right? Even if you have a level 5 ISO 8 and you're like, that cost a lot. Cool. It'll take you like 4 to 5 days to get enough ions just to go from like the goof of like, I rank 5 Fortifier on my Colossus to be like, now he's a healer and he's throwing out fucking, you know, mini heals for like 30,000. I feel like people overlook how important speed is when choosing Raider Skirmisher. Speed is important for literally all of it. All of it, Max. All of it. Because you don't want the world's slowest person throwing out heals from healer, but it depends on the team. Symbiotes giving slow has hurt in time battle. I would rather there be a bleed proc. Biggest mistake was putting shit on Phoenix before knowing it didn't apply to her summon. It does apply to her summon. There's a reason the only ISO 8 you should ever put on... The only ISO 8 you should ever put on Phoenix is Striker. That's it. That's the only thing. Because the 5% damage increase applies to her summon. It does. None of the other stat... I guess the healer one technically would increase it. But all of those stat increases, they count. You just don't get the ability after. That's fine. So just give her Striker. Give her a little bit extra health. Give her a lot of extra damage, because it goes up to, you know, at rank 3 Striker, she gets 10% flat damage. And that means Dark Phoenix gets her normal damage stat, I think it's like 1.5 times, of an extra 10%. It's huge. I have my 7 red star Carnage as Skirmisher. No, that's right. Carnage gets either or. I prefer Healer for DD3. Healer is better on Carnage because he has such a ridiculous health pool. Like, even my Carnage has 100,000 health at 38k. And my Symbiote Spider-Man is almost double his power and only 40,000 health. So, like, Healer's great on Carnage. I'm using Skirmisher on my main account right now, but, like, I have them both at rank 3. I just swap between the two. Time I finish DD3, either DD4 will be out or around the corner. Is it worth sitting on the resources to see or blowing them in other places? I mean, I spent some of my Dark Dimension 3 resources on characters that I just wanted to get to 14 anyway, you know? Like Ultron, Strife, my first 3 DD3 rewards. Summons don't get the ISO 8 class line, but every summon will get the bonus from the abilities. A character gaining 5% of a stat is calculated at the beginning of the fight. All of these stat increases that happen go up. So that's like, if you have Sinister, if you have Healer on Sinister, Healer is a terrible option. But like, if you have Healer on Sinister, his health is high. Actually, anything. Because Sinister's health is higher, the clone's health is higher. Because the clones keep... Sinister's a terrible example, actually. I think, like, Doc Ock might be a little bit better of example. Like, yeah. Anybody who told you that, like... Where's Phoenix? That, like, this doesn't count. Like, these numbers right here. Fortifier doesn't. Like, you're not getting the Fortifier anymore. But Raider... Oh, no, Raider also doesn't apply. Because crit chance is not inherited. It's static. The only thing that does apply to Phoenix is right here. So if you increase regular Phoenix's damage and health, Dark Phoenix's damage and health will go up. What's the order of characters to 14 for Dark Dimension 3? There is none? No. Costs nothing. I have an entire video series on ISO 8s. All 4 videos. So it's like a red star boost then. Yeah. Yeah. Like... Yeah, this gain 5% damage has nothing to do... Like... Raider... Striker is the best for Hela. Raider's okay. Striker's the best. But don't you want regular Phoenix as weak as possible? No, you're confusing how the word weak works. You want her squishy to die. You want her strong to kill. So if you don't put ISO 8s on Phoenix, she will die. But that's not a longevity plan. Like, that's only in a world pre-Black Order, you know? Yeah, Striker is the best for Hela. Because that 5% damage carries over to her summon. But the crit doesn't. I'm slow gear my team to go DD2 with Stars of Minerva. Can I lock them? Spidey, Carnage, and Emma. Hela's back up as a good team. Yeah. Totally reason. You can use Emma and Hela right now. Dude, don't even worry about Spider-Man and Carnage. As a matter of fact, bring Emma or Hela up right now. Either or. If you get Symbiote Spider-Man, like, great. If not, use the other. They're both phenomenal. Hela and Minerva work well together too, because every time Greg dies, Minerva will go faster. And then Emma is just a monster at holding back the line. Your team might be a little squishy, but you should be able to sustain because you have IW. She's got a lot of good value on there. Yeah. Bonk, bonk. Killing me. Literally killing me. All right. I'm kind of off aim. But I do feel like I need to do something with her. Or maybe not. It just sucks to work on aim without having Graviton unlocked, you know? Like, without Graviton, that team is quite literally useless. Oh, cool. I could do the final fight on this. Making a great argument against level 5, but is that only for class or ISO stats? Hold on. The ISO stat boost for every tier is 2%. To go from level 4 to level 5 on an ISO 8, it costs 50 something? Is my math 57? Is that right? 53? 54. 54 sounds right. I don't know why. Yeah, 54. It costs 54 to go from rank 4 to rank 5. Those 54 can be used to bring 2 other characters to level 4. Those, just the ISO 8s. And the... So my question to you is it worth it getting 2% more stats on a character or 8% more stats on a different one? If you can answer that question, you should be okay. Can you run Minerva, Star-Lord, Carnage, Emma, and Venom in DD2 without a lot of problems? Venom is the weak one on that team. You need a sustained character. So that's why like IW and Yo-Yo are characters I go to off the bat, but you might be able to squeeze in like a Juggernaut or something. Because they're not gaining the heal, because you don't have Symbiote Spider-Man, it's going to be really hard, Ollie, to pull that off, because no one's protecting anyone. That's a great question, Darth. I don't know. I don't use the symbiotes. And we actually don't know what it's going to entail until Anti-Venom comes out. In general, I wouldn't recommend using a 3-star character in Dark Dimension in general. Or not Dark Dimension, in U7.5 in general. So that depends on how strong you are. But yeah, you could probably put like healer 3, rank 3 healer on everybody and really not feel anything bad. No, the pricing, I actually really like the pricing on the She-Hulk offer, and I'll tell you why in a second. As SSM and Carnage, who should I gear 13 and 14 next? SSM first. Oh, who after SSM and Carnage? Phoenix? Or are you talking specifically about the symbiotes? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, specifically symbiotes, Anti-Venom. It's SSM the priority list for symbiotes is SSM, Carnage, Anti-Venom, Scream, Venom. That's the what you should worry about kind of list. Sorry, got my radioactive soda. It's invisible. Let me do this last fight too. I'm just gonna click auto because I have Symbiote Spider-Man. What else we got? Yeah, I'm sorry. There's to kind of put the exclamation point at the top of that. There is literally no reason for anyone, under any circumstances, to be bringing characters to level 5. Oh, She-Hulk. Yeah, okay. Thank you. That's the other thing. No one should be bringing any ISO 8 to tier level 5. The benefit far outweighs the cost. Or underweighs the cost, I apologize. Are Rocket, Groot, and Star-Lord worth gear tier 13? Star-Lord is. Rocket and Groot, you don't ever need to bring them past 12. I feel this game turned into invest in symbiotes. It did. It very much did. The symbiotes are an amazing team at all stages of the game. Eventually, they will be defeated. So when you work on the symbiotes, know that. But for now... Yes, and her health, would I consider her self-sustained? Yeah. She's a little bit hard to invest in because she requires the exact same pieces of gear that Ultron does when it comes to uniques, but you'll be fine. What's up, Father John? How come you're not on Twitch? I do every Friday. I stream on YouTube. I stream my Defenseless series. Yeah. But like the argument is this Max before this game turned into invest in symbiotes. Guess what? This game was invest in Black Order, and before invest in Black Order, it was invest in well, specifically Black Bolt. But then the real full thing was like invest in X-Men. You know, like this game will always be what's the next team, and then sometimes you had people invest in Asgardians, which was a war defense team. We didn't give any amounts of shits or fucks about what's it called? The Marauder. Strife was useless. Strife was a useless character. And then they reworked him, and we got Emma, and now Strife's amazing. You know, amazing's hard. Strife's okay. Groot's pretty okay. Groot, you can use Groot. I don't think you need to use Groot anymore, but you could. It's an option. There are plenty of options. So She-Hulk. Look at it like this. This is just the business analysis of She-Hulk, right? We can all agree She-Hulk isn't exciting, right? Not saying she's not good. I also don't think it's not true. Colossus? No, Colossus is a dog shit tank. Juggernaut's better than Colossus in Dark Dimension 3. Colossus is terrible at tanking. Unless Phoenix is there, and then he's great. Best way to get more Scream Shards? Spend cores to open more orbs. Striker for Scream, or maybe Raider? Don't matter. I honestly, my Scream right now is getting Fortifier, because she is too squishy. More stuff. I'm just gonna pull up this offer right here. So not quite an offer. What is this? What? This is the best offer they've ever released. This is literally the best. Like, this is 600 character shards for $20, and 2 of the characters unlock Phoenix. I don't know, man. There's currently an event. I would buy this. Seriously. There is currently an event. Like, I will say, this is not for, like, people who are, like, discerning with cash. That's not what this is. But it's $20, right? You get 100 shards of the characters you can use to unlock Phoenix. You get a 3-star team to start working on the hand event. Yeah. And hand rework is next year, so like eventually it'll matter. But 600 shards for $20? 2 of the characters don't matter and they all have a use? If this was Ravagers, we'd be like, no. Even with the chance of like unlocking Black Bolt. But like, no. This is not a bad offer. Not for $20. It like, on paper, yeah, this offer is clearly better. It's 1 less character. It's $5 more, and all of these characters are good. But just the sheer numbers on this offer is set. This is a Scopely offer right here. This is a Scopely offer. This ain't a Fox Next offer. Scopely's like, bundle the shit together and charge $20. If I was spending money, if this account wasn't free to play, yeah, I would probably pick this offer up. This is a lot of character shards for a lot of characters that I otherwise don't give a shit about. For me, this is probably the 5-star event on most of these characters. 4 or 5-star version of this event on most of these characters. This one, somehow, is worse. Same offer, but it's only 1 character. I mean, I guess this is technically a better team. It's a good starting team. That offer's terrible. What was the offer I was looking at? This one, okay. So, I'm going to take you through finance on this one, right? There are people who will buy an offer no matter what. Doc Ock's not important at all. Yeah, Ken, that's fair. Who wouldn't want $20 for trash? It's not trash. What? It's $20. Okay. So just off the top of my head, if we're gonna go and say something silly, what team are you using to complete Relic Hunt? Just what team? What 5 characters are you using? Would you rather spend $20, right, and have them at 3 or 4 star, or would you rather spend time and energy on that? Like, you know, if you don't buy that, I'm not saying it's reasonable, but like, if you're not spending $20 for all those characters, you now have to spend energy farming them. How important do you rate Relic Hunt? As important, it's probably... I'd say Relic Hunt is... So the most important one is the gold one, is the Mercs one, by a margin. And then it's like Relic Hunt... maybe... No, it's Relic Hunt, and then it's Block Party, and then Chaos Theory. That the last two actually swap at the end game. Chaos Theory is better the earlier you are in the game. When you get to the true end game, like Chaos Theory is just nothing. But at the exact same time, I'm sorry, in the end game you need Chaos Theory. In the early game, it's not as important kind of thing. But like Block Party matters more when you're buying your first tier 4 investments, not so much when you're buying your 75th. You know what I mean? Use cores to open Scream Orbs or cores for the event. Yeah. Yeah, if you only look at the... And this is why this conversation needs to be had. Because this is a very good offer. This is a month of farming these characters. Think of what a month... Think of how many of these characters you would have to... What you would have to do, right? How much would you have to farm Nobu and Hand Assassin to get 100 character shards of them? How many? How long? How long would it take you to get this? Are you currently getting this? No, of course you're not. No one cares about this. But they do help. So how long is this going to take you? For $20, this offer is at least a month worth of farming these characters. So not only do you get a month's worth of progress of farming these characters, that event is irrelevant. The hand event is irrelevant. Okay, I don't bang my head against the wall. Would you really work on Hand Assassin for Phoenix though? Would I? No. But I can't farm Hela for the first 3.5 to 7 months of the game, depending on how much money I spend. Which characters do you think ISO 8s have improved the most? Wakandans. 1 month to have all 3. Start. Yeah. So 1 month, that means you lost the progress for 1 month. That literally means you lost the progress that you would have otherwise worked on other characters for 1 month. Oh, I don't know. This is... Don't get me wrong. These characters don't matter. But $20 for 600 character shards of characters that have value? Like... Yeah, this offer's fine. Like, this offer is reasonable. At the exact same part of the conversation, comparing the two offers, which one do you think is better? The shield team offer or the hand team offer? Just overall. Oh yeah, if Yo-Yo was in this offer. No, it is a conversation. Because, like, okay, like, if they offered me 600 character shards of like, a dog shit character, then, no, you know, if there was, like, hey, you can have 600 character shards of Nebula for $20, I'd be like, no, thank you. Shield is a better team, hand starts you try to better legend. They're both equally useless. And, okay, and hand is useful for more than just one legendary character, too. I don't understand. Y'all know you have to have a strong hand team one day, right? Like, y'all know that. We don't got a whole bunch of aim starters here who are thinking, like, you never need to work on other characters. You can work on only 25 characters this entire game, right? Like, you know you're gonna need to have your hand at 5-star. 6-star, 7-star one day, right? Like, y'all know that. Y'all know that your bad characters, or the like your Wakandans, are eventually going to have to be 7-star, right? What do you mean, why? What? Because there's an event that gives you resources. Like, what? Shield team is a very good raid team. That's true. Early game, shield team is a very good raid team. Late game, they're pretty useless. I've said that before. And they really, like, up to U5, you can do U7 or U5 with shield. They're pretty okay at that. What about shield? Yeah, it's the same conversation. So this She-Hulk offer is perfect, right? Because an event that only occurs once a month, I'll get them through orbs. Okay, bud. She-Hulk is not important. There is no reason to buy She-Hulk. None. Literally none. But the only people who are... Like, she doesn't actually do anything, right? Like, she's a character that turns an offense team into a defense team. And she's a good war defense character to boot. She's a good character, but there's no reason to buy She-Hulk. In general. Just no reason to. That said, people are going to buy her, right? People are going to buy She-Hulk. Some people. Some people are going to buy her because she's a new character. Some people are going to buy her because they like She-Hulk. Some people are going to buy her because they were lied to and told that she was going to be needed for a legendary unlock. You know, people are going to buy her no matter what. So, business decision. Do we make her $25, right? And how many people buy her once? How many people buy her twice? Or do we make this character that we know we have a group of people who are going to buy no matter what? We know that there is a percentage of people that are going to buy this no matter what. And do we make that offer $50? What they did was they made She-Hulk a $50 offer for the purpose of realizing that if anything less than half the people who normally buy the character offer buy it, anything more than half the people, they're in profit. They're in profit. That's it. And that's not including the number of people next week. That's not including the number of people who are going to buy it twice. The amount of people who are going to buy this offer twice is going to, every offer at 50 is going to make up for, you know, and 4 people who were going to buy this offer once, or 2 people that were going to buy this offer twice. The math is just there. She's not a high impact character. They know she's not going to sell. So because of that, tax the whales. This is a tax the whale offer. The people who have to buy a character are now going to have to spend $50 on it. And they're going to figure out, based on their numbers, real quick, whether or not She-Hulk succeeded because they have enough people in this game who are just don't care buy character, which they might, or whether they don't get away with making mediocre up to maybe good, I'd say she's like low end of good, characters cost $50 or are 100 shard unlocks for one reason or another. This is all because they're changing the character release structure. An early shield team is better than the hand. That is true. Apparently we're still talking about this. I'm just saying, there's a group of people who are going to buy her no matter what. They do not care anything. They don't care. Did I buy her? No, of course not. Because I don't need her. Because she's a Blitz character. I'll unlock her through that. It's very bad art. I will say that. Actually, like, it's funny. This picture is great. So, like, right next to each other, this looks awesome. This looks terrible, but that's it. Yes, that's the point I'm making. She-Hulk is not a character that anyone needs. She-Hulk is Beast. Like, she's Beast. She's Swarm. She's the same kind of character, right? You don't need her. She doesn't do anything. You can use her, but you don't need her. She ain't changing the game for you. She's not taking something you couldn't do and make it amazing. She's just a character. And it's great that they're releasing just characters. Sometimes I just don't want to look and be like, yeah, this is worth it. Would I have bought an offer at $25? Maybe. I might have. But I'm not saying I would have. I might have. Phoenix, Symbiote Spider-Man, hell, the first 5 characters, like, I can't answer that question. But like, every node has its own little thing. But if you're looking at like the top 6 characters that are relevant, global is like Phoenix and Colossus, and you can build out from there. If you have Emma already, then you can use Emma and Phoenix. It just won't matter as much. Like, you might as well, right? Like, it doesn't make a difference. For Cosmic, you want Maw and Minerva, and then you want more characters to add to them to make them better at what they do. And then for City, you want Spider-Man and Carnage, and then the other characters are Symbiote Spider-Man and Carnage, and then the other characters are who they want. Absolutely, yeah. There's always a bunch of them. Dude, Red Skull was this. Do you know what's going on here? Like, does no one see it except me? Is Hela still important for DD3? She's useful. I use her now in my second run. Dude, do you know the difference between her and Red Skull? Red Skull came with a team rework. She came with an unnecessary team rework. That's it. That's the difference. Red Skull is a $100 mediocre character. That's all he is. He's, at best, he's mediocre. That took 4 to 5, depending on how build you were doing, useless characters and gave them value. She-Hulk is a mediocre character that takes an amazing war offense team and turns them into an acceptable war defense team. That's the difference. Zemo single-handedly is a good war offense team. I have seen 100k Zemos solo, what's it called? Hydra teams. 100k, like Zemo is a great character. Like Namor used to be when it came to war. Can you believe they tried twice with Hydra? Hey, they reworked all of the Hydra characters. You can use them now. Do they matter? Depends on you. Do you think AV takes Carnage's place in the importance of sync nodes? No. You need the speed. The speed is what matters. You can't res with AV with just like he doesn't have a res, so like, it doesn't matter. He only has a res if there's 3 other symbiotes. Wish I got Zemo. Notice that, like, look at all the characters who aren't farmable. Red Skull, Zemo, Taskmaster. All these war characters that they're now punishing people for not buying or giving a shit about, because why the fuck would you? Ravager rework is coming, yes. Next year, though. Next year. Probably like end of quarter 1 next year. Like, why do you think the entirety of the Black Order and all those war characters aren't for sale? Because there's a group of people who are going to keep buying them. Why do you think it took them over a year to put Minerva in premium orbs? Because people kept buying her. Taserface next legendary? Not to my knowledge. Yep, work on Black Bolt now, Dossier. Mobile gaming, for the most part. My history comes from mobile gaming. The game was Shards of Magic. But I've worked with other game companies, usually not in the same level of control that I've had before. Yeah. She is a loss leader. They're like, fuck it. We'll make her $50 and they can't make less money off of her. How many people were going to buy her at 25? We'll say we'll give a nice round number. We'll say 30% of the player base was going to buy her at 25. I think that's really high, but we'll give it to it. So then you look at how many people are willing to buy her at 50. From that 30%, it goes down to like 20? Like, it's not much less. And now they're making an extra 50 on anyone who's buying it twice, which they would have bought it at 25 for 50. Keep in mind, less than 60% of this game spends money. They don't consider you a spender in this game unless you spend a certain amount. Even if you convert, like they have a stat called conversion, which is taking someone who's never spent and making them spend. Some people, they track conversion too. Like if you play the game for 6 months without spending and then you spend $10, they track why. Was it because you played the game? Was it because you didn't have money and now you do? What reason did you do that? Like they kind of figure out why. Oh yeah, no, I'm ready. I'm not trying to 3-star the villains nodes, but like, you know, my aim team is 100 right now. I just need, what's his name? Graviton. No. No. I've spent like $20,000 on this game. I don't spend to be the best forever. I spend to be when I was spending the most money, I spent to be the best or among the best right now. Right now. I don't care about tomorrow. Tomorrow's new money. Why do all the mini region go to Greg when you're using Asgardians? Why do all the mini region go to Greg when using Asgardians? I don't understand that question, LP. Does game log how much you spend? The game does log how much you spend. You can ask, you can actually ask Google, but you can also ask their support to sell you. It's an interesting conversation. I always thought about most gacha games do. It's anecdotal, but in games I felt personalized offers get better the less you spend. Yeah. Dude, there's still a 99-cent offer on this free-to-play account. Where is it? There. Look, I still have the... Come on, go ahead, spend money. definitely a bad addiction. Oh no, I spend shit tons of money on games. I spend easily $500 a month on whatever game I'm playing normally. That's why I usually only play one game a month. It's not like I won't buy red stars because I do have a gambling addiction, so I don't buy red stars. When I buy a character, I'm spending money. I try to put it out in a couple of ways. Here. So let me I've done this before and I'll do it again. Oh, I've never noticed that. This offer. Let's look at this. Let's look at this offer right now. My TCP, 8.1 million on my main account. So let's look at this offer, right? How many people think this offer is worth it? I think this is unfair. I think a lot of people would say this offer is worth it. So I think I'm going to ask a different question. How many people bought this offer? Yeah. It might. That's why I asked a different question. Okay. Okay. Good number, right? How many, for those of you who haven't bought this offer, or I'm going to do a review when I'm done with my account. So now, of the people who didn't buy this offer, what if it was $2.49? Would you buy it? This offer. Change nothing. $2.49. If you didn't buy it. Why? For those who said no, that you didn't buy it for $24.99, but you would buy it for $2.49, why? Why would you buy it for $2.49? Okay, so what's the difference between $2.49 being nothing for you and $24.99 being nothing for me? You know what I mean? When we talk about spending. Yeah. That's it. Like, people talk about the pricing on this game like it's ridiculous. Like, I think it's among the highest priced stuff I've ever seen. But no way. No way is this the most ridiculous game. Because you're a vet. Of what? Is the pricing on Star Wars? The pricing on Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, surprisingly, is actually a little bit better, but not by enough of a margin that it's relevant, you know? Which game is the most expensive? Any of those games... Vikings or not Clash of Clans, but one of any of those games where you have to like build up your city and then like you have like a patch of land. Oh god, what are those fucking games called? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Scopely Looney Tunes game. Yeah, that Scopely Looney Tunes game has sucked for fucking 2 years though. It's not gonna get better. One of the reasons Scopely bought Foxnext was to apply the Foxnext business model, because they're like, hey, you guys suck at being a game developer, and you're constantly releasing bugs, and you're still making like $8 million a month after everything. So like, what the fuck's going on here? I gotta say it's different. I come from Magic the Gathering, and I ran a game store. I was in the singles market. You know, I was a backpack. I wasn't a backpack vendor, but like you heard of the phrase backpack vendor. Like I remember the difference between the people who came in and were interested in seeing the expensive cards and the people who came in and were looking for just whatever was usable. I started playing a game called Force of Will. I went to a tournament. I had none of the cards I needed. I just knew the deck I wanted to play. I went to the vendor. I said, hey, can I have these cards? He pulls out shinies and foils and fucking stamps and limited edition cuts. And I'm like, no, just give me the regular ones. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, the regular rares, the ones that are like 50 cents. He's like, why do you want those? I'm like, oh, because they fucking play the same and I'm going to win this fucking tournament. I didn't win. I came in 4th. But like, it doesn't matter because that you can't control that. For me, the function of that card in this game that I don't fucking care about was way less value than the fashion of that card. At the exact same time in Magic, hey Tony, or Hearthstone, I hated this question. I couldn't stand this question whenever I played Hearthstone or Runeterra or any of those games. Hey, I don't have this. What's a good replacement for it? A job so you can afford to buy this. And I know it makes me sound like a fucking asshole, but you're asking the wrong questions. The question isn't how do I experience fun in this game without spending money? Or how do I play this deck that you're playing without spending money? Last node's pretty rough. The first 2 you'll actually be able to walk through, Baker. The 3rd and 4th one might be a little bit of a trouble. The last node I was on for like maybe 6 or 7 total days. I needed a 3rd character. You don't win immediately. You don't win immediately. You just have the thing. That's why some of the whales were so pissed off at the beginning of the year. Because they had to log in all the time. They were pissed that they spent thousands upon thousands of dollars a week. And they still had to log in to do their war. Why can't we just auto war? Why can't I just auto my raids? Why do I have to click on this? And that's why they release war characters and only make them available for people who spend money. Why do you think we don't have Taskmaster? They could have just added Taskmaster to a fucking orb. Not like a raid store or, you know, like... They could have just done that. They could have did that with anybody. Why do you think that the war characters specifically are the ones that don't get released? Why do you think the Black Order specifically has become farmable? And don't give me any shit about, well, they had other characters to release. Yeah? They've had other characters to release for a long time. No. Why do you think it took 9 fucking years for Colossus to become farmable? Because they believed that the people who were willing to spend money would spend the fucking money to get the character, and anyone who wasn't interested in spending money can go fuck themselves. And that's not a bad thing or a good thing. That's just how they run business. You just accept it and move on. There's no reason for Red Skull specifically, there's no reason for Red Skull to not be farmable right now. None. But he's a war defense character, so you got him or you didn't. The fact that they said SSM is now farmable, yep, there you go. Everything you need to know. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Because as mad as you want to be at them for sucking at this like development and making these shit poor decisions that they've been making, we're still fucking playing it. I'm still giving them money. I stopped giving them as much money as I used to. That's for damn sure. Because I don't need to anymore. Because what I could do, like, the last year I've gained like 2.5 million TCP on my roster. Don't make a difference. Yeah. People in this chat who watch MSF stream on a Friday night care more about the game. Exactly. And this game is fucking awesome. I'm gonna shit talk Foxnex and Scopely all day. All day. All day. Because I think that's right. Doesn't mean the game's not fun. Doesn't mean you can't have fun without spending certain money. But at the same point, Tony, I really want Symbiote Spider-Man. Ooh, buy him. I don't have the money. Ooh. You know, like, wait, get lucky. I get it. I feel it. I'm never will I ever insult a free-to-play player. Never will I ever insult a whale. I'll insult a person, but like I've said before, you're not a hero. You're not a hero for being free-to-play. Like, that's just how you play, whether you choose to or you have to. That's, as long as you enjoy the game, doesn't matter. But you're not a hero. And you're not the fucking savior of the game if you spend $20,000. It's a trick that I used to get when I was a whale in other games like Warframe, where people would trick themselves into believing they were the biggest supporters of the game because they spent the most money. There's always someone else to spend money. They didn't need you. Fuck, for one of the places I worked for, I was a pace car. My job was to bait people to spending money, and there are pace cars in this game. We don't see them. The average player doesn't see them. I'm saying the average player. I don't see them. I don't see pace cars. They ain't slumming it down here with me. They're not in the 8 million brackets. You know what I mean? Better is not the correct word for saying that. There is always someone better than you, that is true, but better doesn't mean anything. Pace car is somebody who the company pays to create artificial competition for being the best among the highest spenders in the game. Not a hero for being free to play may have ruined someone's night. You're not a hero. Doesn't make you... You're still playing a game. I was in that fucking union. You watch your mouth, Max. I was the guy putting out content. I was the spokesperson for that fucking union on YouTube. Like, everybody talked to me about it. And shit got fucking done. That's all I gotta say about that. So everybody who was like, fix MSF was just whales complaining, like, okay. Hey, you know how all of the events are released on very specific time frames all of the time now? Do you know how, like, we now have a set legendary release structure where they announce it on Friday and then the next Monday, the second Monday after they announce it, the legendary comes out? Do you know how every single fucking month we now have set distance times among when the events are coming in? You're welcome. You got to remember, no whales equals no game. That's not true. That statement is inherently untrue. No spenders, no game. No whales doesn't mean no game. And a whale, like, I can start a list right now of people who outspend me in this game that aren't close to as good as me at this game. And I'm not good at this game. Yeah. Yeah, that's another lie that people tell themselves. We wouldn't be able to play this game if there wasn't for whales. Sure you would. The pricing model for success in moderate pricing on gaming exists. It exists. Dragon Champions is a game like this yes, a game, first of all, a game doesn't need anything. A game can just... I don't make spreadsheets for this game. I mean, I'm good at spreadsheets for a lot of stuff. But, no. Like, games don't need that. You know why? There are games that cost money. You can spend $29.99 and buy a game, and then play that game. Did that game need free-to-play and whale players? No. Just needed someone to buy it. This game is designed to prey upon people. All mobile games are designed to prey upon people. Flappy Bird's... Yeah, Flappy Bird was making $65,000 a day on ads. Dude, there are games that have gacha offers and ads. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has ads. And that game's fun. Show us your aim team? Ah, it's weak as shit. Bonk. This is my weak... Yeah. Dragon Champions still exists, is still a good game. I think Dragon Champions is the best version of the 5v5 strategy hero collector out there. The best version of it. Now you're gonna say, it doesn't have as good graphics. If graphics to me is like The third thing I look at when I care about how a game... The first thing is game has to be fun. Second thing is game has to be reasonable. Like, that means I have to be able to play the game and continue playing the game. The only thing... I'm not playing DD1. I'm not doing DD1. I skipped DD1 completely. Yeah. I just... First of all, there's no class warfare. Do you need Graviton? I don't know the answer to that question. I know I was okay with the first one, but the second one was kind of challenging with the team I was using, so I'm just waiting. I'm not really in a hurry. But again, I'm not in a hurry right now because things kind of went out. If you starting out today, completely free to play, and the characters used for DD2 must be farmable, who's it gonna be? For DD2, must be farmable. God, there's no good answer. There's literally no good answer. Fuck. Could you imagine having to do it? If you... Oh my god. Could you imagine if you, like, remove every character that's not farmable from the game? Like, completely remove them. What would you use for Dark Dimension 2? Oh my god. A nightmare. It's a night... Like, it's just... It sucks. You're just gonna have a nightmare of a time. At that point, I might just bring in... Oh... No, orbs are not farmable. No, fucking not defenders. Get out of here. No, I was gonna say, like, I might just build the team of legendaries. You know? Like, I might just be like... Go legendaries. Scientist Supreme, Ronin, Hela, Thor, Loki. Honestly, dude... The Asgardians are the closest. Yeah, legendaries count. Like, legendaries are farmable. You can farm legendaries. It might be like some weird hybrid. Sinister. Oh god. I thought he meant no legendaries. No, I wouldn't assume. If you said like no legendaries, I'd be like, this is not the game for me. Like that's like asking like how long would it take for the hand team to beat Dark Dimension 2? And it's like that's a question that doesn't ever need to be answered, right? Like, who fucking cares? Like, when someone, like the Defenders, like, hey, I'm gonna use the Defenders for Dark Dimension 2. Like, why? Why would you do that? There's, like, so many other characters that are just better than that team. Honest to God, it might be Asgardians. I think Asgardians are probably the best answer. And you can, like, kind of weeble wobble out of it. Like, you could use, like, Thor, Hela. Hela's not farmable. You can't do symbiotes because you can't do Symbiote Spider-Man. And literally only 2 symbiotes are farmable. Can't do symbiotes. Can't do Minerva. Then the start with aim theory would start making more sense. No, it still doesn't. Someone show me a screenshot of the weakest aim team to beat any node in Dark Dimension 3. Like, someone put that video up. Someone put up an aim team beating, like, one of the last 4 nodes in Dark Dimension 3 and show me how strong they are. Scientist Supreme. I wouldn't put Scientist Supreme is terrible. Why do people think she's good? Fury, IW, Groot, Star-Lord. Yeah, Hela's farmable, just not by the time you're going to be doing Dark Dimension 3. So it's hard to put it in. Fury, Shield... Oh, God. I would love to try Dark Dimension 3 with, like, a Fury Shield team now with, like, Coulson. but I'm afraid. Scientist Supreme, Aim Assaulter, Graviton, Aim Researcher, and Hela. That is... Alright, so if we're gonna add characters that like you shouldn't be working on early, or that is unrealistic for you to work on early, then if I just started right now and I was working towards Dark Dimension 2, it would be Black Bolt, Yo-Yo... Oh, Yo-Yo's not Farmo, sorry. So Black Bolt, Crystal, Thanos, Maw, and Shuri would be the team I bring in. I don't remember what I said specifically. It's very unlikely that you'll be farming Hela before you do Dark Dimension 2. Will MODOK replace Scientist Supreme or Graviton? Neither. MODOK's the actual 5th member of that team. Yeah, like if we're living in Magic Christmas Land where like Dark Dimension 2 doesn't matter anymore, then I'm just gonna work on the best characters in the game anyway. Yeah. Yeah, Yo-Yo's not farmable. Because if Yo-Yo is farmable, then we use Minerva, and then we just energy battery Minerva with Star Wars, and the fight's over, and it takes no time, and you're doing well. So it's not a conversation. Yeah. God, aim is such... My head can't process it. Sure, we're taking up for 14 for DD3. She was for me. Not even in DD1. We'll be level 70 somewhere. Well, you shouldn't worry about DD1. My mistake, I'll tell you my mistake right now. My mistake was as I was farming up characters that I needed for Dark Dimension, I completely never bought these. Security, Assaulter, Graviton, Scientist Supreme, and MODOK. Exercise in no legendaries? So if it's no legendaries, then... Oh, God. No legendaries at all, it's Asgardians. Like, there's no question. The Asgardians are the best team. Yeah. If it's no legendaries, it's the Asgardians. And if it is legendaries, it's the Asgardians. Then you place Heimdall with Black Bolt. X-Force? No, they have no sustain. They'll be fucking eaten alive. AIM has nothing but sustain. Symbiotes. Why are we talking about... God damn it. My head. Alright. I'm gonna call this out. Yeah. Like, there's... I, like, never bought these over the course of, like, the months I was farming stuff. So, I mean, I've put quite a bit of these things on, as you can see. But it's the only piece that I ran into an issue with. And, here we are. Rumors in that it's not happening? Yes. Do ISO8s help any of these lesser teams clear Dark Dimension easier? Of course they do. Of course they do. You can add sustainability to every team. You could technically put healer on everybody and then it'd have a little bit more sustain, which is major relative. But it's not like the sustain... Like, you need to have a rank 3 healer on all of the X-Force characters in order to test it. Do you have orange gear orbs? I opened them on cooldown. Yeah. Nope. Just no luck. World boss next year? Should be. Should be. How much easier do you think it makes it? Like, how much easier to... So, are you asking how much more forgiving will ISO8s make making bad decisions? Like 25%. Like a quarter. Like, if you make bad decisions, like bring aim up, and then you use ISO8s, it'll make it like a quarter more viable. At best. Like, you'll be able to finish it, like, you know, 25% faster by that definition, or for whatever the effort you're putting in. But still, like, choosing the right characters is correct. Huh. But like someone had mentioned earlier, like, that doesn't really matter. You're always going to be There's always going to be something that's different from your run than mine. My first day, I pulled a 50 drop of Minerva. My first day. My first Mega Orb was a 3-star Namor. So, that 3-star Namor could have been a 3-star literally anyone else. Like, Loki. Rocket. You know, like you don't know. RNG changes. RNG will never change your endgame experience because Juggernaut's not a mutant. That's why. Because Juggernaut is never and has never been a mutant. How much is the speed up progression? 24%, 25%. Should I gear tier 14 Colossus? If you're gonna use Phoenix at all, your Colossus is a fine investment. Dope, 28 hours. Nice, Shandon. Dope. What if I only want to do with only blasters? I can't help you, Ren. Alright, so what you do is you beat Dark Dimension 2 twice, the correct way, unlock Ultron, and then just use Ultron and the rest of the blasters. That's how you do it. I should probably spend some energy, but I don't want to. Am I farming anyone though? Nope. I guess I'll farm some of the AIM characters. I want to get them to a nice round, like 100, 150k, so I can have another war team. That's why I'm working on AIM now. Like, I do need another war team, so it's like kind of time for me to work on people. Boop. Aww. Sadness. Ghost Rider. I'll farm some Ghost Rider. Rather, you don't have to actively work on Dark Dimension 3. There's no reason to. I mean, some people... Good number for aim. To aim for? No, that was a pun intended. And you win with that one. That was a good pun. I'm actually afraid to see if I can actually... If I do have enough pieces to... okay, yeah. Yeah, like I have... That's why, like, I'm pretty confident in my ability that, like, Carnage, like, whatever. I'll get that last piece, and then he'll be gear tier 14. I don't want to bring in Carnage, but, like, whatever. It's better than Thor right now. Is it better than Thor? It's kind of better than Thor. Thor is a lot of free damage. Like, just thinking about it. Thor is a ton of free damage, but I don't know if I can mystic up another character to gear tier 13. She was a pretty big pain in the ass to begin with. Yeah, she was a pain in the ass. Not interested, thanks. Yeah, so I don't... Any future team reviews? Gonna talk about ISO 8s? No, my team reviews will never talk about ISO 8s. I will have ISO 8 specific content that will talk about groupings. But no, I will not talk about ISO 8s in team reviews because it sets a bad example of giving people dumb advice, and I don't give people dumb advice. Like, the account's gone the day I unlock Ultron. Next spotlight is Magneto. It is Magneto and Black Bolt are next. And then it's Phoenix, Maw, and Doc Ock. Yeah. And then we have team reviews I'm going to do for... Honestly, I'm just sick and tired of fucking waiting, so I'm just going to do the Mercs. I'm going to do the Mercs review right now, and then I'm going to do both Hydra reviews. Just to get them out of the way. Like, I'm tired of waiting for them to make them farmable. I need to be able to make some content. And then, of course, we have... the new YouTube series that's coming out. The limited pay account, I'm probably gonna wait. I want to have a good time frame on it, and right now, this is the truth, right? The only difference between my free-to-play account right now and the limited pay account that I'm setting up, yeah, right, is that there's almost no difference in what I would do. I would just get there faster. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would do everything exactly the same, but the first 3 months would be me buying the Star-Lord and the Sinister Six-Pack. What's the goal of the next 2 account? I haven't set a goal yet. Just to kind of showcase what pricing is worth and where spending goes. Like, the first month's money is paid for already. It's 2 new character offers. Has there been a decline in the player base? So the player base is currently higher than it's ever been, right? The player base is currently at 600,000, plus or minus like 10,000 people on any given day, you know? The active player base is about where it used to be. Active player base being people who log in every single day and have for the last 30, 60, and 90 days. That's how they track active players. That has been around the same. The number of people over 5 million TCP who have quit is higher than the number of people who have started playing in the last, like, per month kind of thing. So it's harder for the highest TCPs. The last time this happened was the same time last year. And that's what started Fix MSF. So I'm going to say something very quick, and I'm going to say it right now, 10/9/2020, 11:08. If there is a second Fix MSF, I will not be a part of it. I will sit here with a torch and wait to blow the entire game down. Because the first MSF fixed problems with the game. There's nothing a second Fix MSF will do. Just fucking quit the game. Don't. And if you're a spender, don't cry about your wasted money. The money was wasted the second you spent it. I'm $20,000 into a mobile game on my phone, and not once have I missed a dollar I've spent. Not a day of my life has been like, oh no, if they quit playing, I'll just find another game and spend money there. This shit ain't real. None of this is real. This ain't the magic cards I have piled up. None of this. So don't make it real. If you're mad about how much money you spend, keep better personal financing. Like, stop spending money on mobile games. Buy a yacht. You know, like, just fucking... We have a measure of currency in mobile gaming called family vacations. A family vacation is $8,000. That's how much a family of 4 for a week at Disney World costs. $8,000. So I have spent almost 3 family vacations on this game. I don't have a family, so it costs nothing. But when you say family vacation, it reminds you of the 2 things you spent this money on that you might not have been able to. The love of your family and the time you could spend with them. And that's why it's funny to me to call it family vacations. Because I don't have a family and I don't fucking care. And if I did, I probably wouldn't be spending this much money on a mobile game. When are you making a family? Oh, we had some... to fix that problem a long time ago, my friend. If I need a family, I'm buying them on Craigslist. I think that's it, though. That's pretty much all I have to say. So, the biggest thing I want to take away is the ISO 8 issue. So, like, obviously I'm not in Dark Dimension 2. I'm giving myself a little bit more leeway because I made a mistake, but I don't think many others would have made the same mistake, knowing that, like, they were farming up gear and everything. And I know plenty of free-to-play players who've been able to actually lap me on this run, which is hilarious. I know a couple of free-to-play players who have not only beaten my time to 70, but beaten Dark Dimension 2 before me. So yeah, I missed a couple of things. It's my mistake. I should have known better. I should have been keeping better track of it. That said, ISO 8s is way more relevant because, as you guys have been talking about it now, it's a huge boost that we can just give the characters we're using, and power through it. You know, it allows you to work on... Nice Goatsmore. Donkey kicked me in the balls. It is a nice change to just look at... That's fair, J-Stans. Like, what you could do, and then realize that you can just make every character a little bit stronger, basically for free. You know, I don't think there's anything worth spending money on when it comes to ISO 8s. I don't think any of their offers are good. Just saw a $25 Black Brotherhood offer. That offer looks great. Here. You know what? Let's put a second star on Hello. How about that? Second ISO 8 line. Boop. Perfect. And now, okay, fuse. Fuse. Let's give her a little bit more health. So these 4%, like, these guys aren't going up too much. But, bonk. Now that she's got that extra 10%, you know, it's relevant. The Brotherhood offer is what? It's Toad, Blob, Mystique, Sabretooth, and Pyro? Right? Isn't it not Juggernaut? Or is Mystique, or is Sabretooth not in it and Juggernaut's in it? I've seen a couple of different shop versions of that. But yeah. ISO 8s. No, it'll still come up. I've seen it. I haven't seen it in the game. I've seen it, the offer list from a couple. Never mind. Ignore me. I wasn't saying anything. Wow, you hooked up a new mic? Yeah. Why, does it sound good? Do I sound different? Yeah. I really think take your time, look at ISO 8s, and then put them on characters that you plan on using. Not as good as the microwave remote. What, the other one? Yeah. One question. What do we do after Ultron? I don't want to waste resources. We do after Ultron? Ultron 7, I assume you mean? After you get Ultron to 7-star? War teams, baby. War teams. Start winning wars. You got... At that point, guys, you got like 6 legendaries under your belt, probably. You know, finish up some legendaries. I can't do an offer review. I gotta call this because I gotta do a Twitch stream. And I started late today, so I wanted to make sure I got some extra time in. But don't rush ISO 8s, guys. Don't do it. It's okay if you want to put one ISO 8 in everything, right? That's okay. You'll be fine. But don't put ISO 8s in like your defenders. Don't put ISO 8s in your Sinister 6 team. They don't need it. If you're going to do anything as far as ISO 8s goes, and you feel like they want to be a little bit stronger, go ahead, bring all of their stats up by 2%, give them healer or something, and call it a day. Where do you use Ultron on War? Offense. Campaigns, also important to farm Helen Karnak after Ultron. Well, you're still working towards X, Y, and Z, you know? What team, though? Depends on the fight. Sometimes I use Fantastic Four plus Ultron to beat Marauders. Sometimes I use Supernatural plus Ultron to beat Black Order. Sometimes I just use Ultron to beat, like, the Asgardians, Aimtron, you know? Like, Ultron is great because he just flaps in as the 5th member of a lot of teams. And whatever team I don't have an answer to, I put Ultron on that team. So, like, I have an answer to Black Order, I have an answer to the Marauders, and I have an answer to a lot of stuff. But sometimes I use them. So I use the Ultron plus a different team to be able to take out another fight later. What tier 4 is on Supernatural Tron to beat BO? You need Doctor Strange 2, Ghost Rider 2, Elsa 2... Scarlet Witch isn't on the team, and Mordo needs 1. Mordo needs to guarantee a stun. What are you streaming on Twitch? Haven't decided yet. I'm gonna play a game. Probably play Genshin Impact or something. What's the answer to Marauders? Oh, the X-Force. Fucking... right through. X-Force beats the Marauders. Don't use the Spider-Verse against the Marauders. Sorry, I was about to say Spider-Verse. Don't use the Symbiotes. Don't do it. Captain Marvel is currently farmable. Yeah. I have no interest in farming her. As an endgame player, I can tell you that Captain Marvel's value goes down dramatically. She's better in the first, like, she's better on the first 70 levels, you know? What do you think of Black Widow in the console Avengers game? She's great. Black Widow is phenomenal, actually. Oh, fuck, I didn't do my dailies last week. God damn it. My weeklies, sorry. Black Widow is probably the best character. Cap is the second best character. He's just slow. They got a lot of work they have to do, and I told them I'd give them 2 months before I start shit-talking them, so that's what I'm doing. But yeah, just pay attention to your ISO 8s, guys. Work on key characters, like a character you see people are using in the endgame, you know? Even if you do happen to put a couple in your aim, like, that's fine, but you don't have to bring up teams. Honestly, you don't need teams to have ISO 8s. You need characters. And any content you see when I'm doing ISO 8s is going to discuss why characters are important. But teams, you just fill. Once you know what ISO 8 you want on Symbiote Spider-Man... Yeah, well, that game was never supposed to be released for PC. That game is terrible. Once they... Like, when you see, like, the amount of investment I put in Symbiote Spider-Man... The other characters, like, I'm not going to change Symbiote Spider-Man to make up for the rest of the team. I'm going to be like, okay, Symbiote Spider-Man's a striker. So then I'll see what the rest of my team looks like, and I'll put things accordingly. Like Carnage. Carnage is going to end up probably with Healer eventually. Not now, but eventually. And that'll be okay. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to eat the food that I ordered and let get cold here. And then probably in about a half an hour or so, I'm going to go live on Twitch with just some... I might play Genshin Impact, which is another game, but not going to be long. It's just going to be some bullshit. And the game is super fun. I think it's awesome. It's hard to stream. But if you're interested, it is totally free to play. Totally free to play. Like, do not spend them... I can say this right now. If you like JRPGs, Genshin Impact might be the best game of the year. If you don't like JRPGs, you're gonna fucking hate it. Because it is JRPG as fuck. It is weeb scum, and I love it. So I want you guys to have a good weekend, alright? Be safe out there. I shouldn't have too much going on, but I have some YouTube videos I'll probably throw out. Just for a little bit more ISO 8 stuff. Nothing detailed, just like fun stuff. I am working on... Someone said, what's next? What do you think is next to look forward to in MSF? ISO 8s are still the thing. PvP mattering is the next thing to look forward to. There's another legendary coming out. I don't know that it's MODOK because I never saw MODOK. Let me be clear. MODOK was never a legendary, but I've heard that. When is Doom? December of this year is when they will officially release Dark Dimension 4. I wouldn't look forward to Dark Dimension 4. Honest to God, guys. I wouldn't go out of your way to assume that Dark Dimension 4 is going to be like this exciting and fun experiment. It's going to be a clusterfuck that you have to deal with to get the best character in the game. That's it. So that's that. And as far as the next week, we are just going to keep plugging away, spending my cores, trying my best. Quantum Team, if anything, is going to be end of this year into next year. More X-Men is the next patch. Some people say it's Gambit. I thought it was... I'm just saying right now, I thought it was Jubilee. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I thought it was Jubilee, Kitty Pryde, and Iceman. And no, they will not be used for a legendary. Or, let me be clear, I don't know of the legendary that would require those three characters, as there is literally no tags that they have that I've seen that you can separate. So if they do make them necessary for a legendary, it will legitimately just be unnamed characters. Gambit and Rogue. Rogue is not this year. That's definitely confirmed. Rogue is definitely not this year. But I thought Gambit and Rogue were next year anyway. So we have Iceman. We definitely have Iceman. We definitely have Shadowcat. I thought Jubilee was coming out. And then after Jubilee, In February or / March, we were supposed to get Gambit and Rogue. That's what we were supposed to get. They might change it. I don't know. Where's Red Guardian? I don't know. Where's farmable, you know, character? Like, we don't know. Need to put more ways to slow people on with X-Men. What would it be? 61? Question? I think it's 61 or 65. I don't remember, Ali. I think it's 61 or 65. But that's it. So thank you guys again for watching. You can feel free to stop by Twitch if you have any other questions about Marvel Strike Force, and you know, I'll answer them because it's not going to be doing anything crazy. I'm just going to be playing Genshin, but I am going to take a little bit of a break before I go on there. So have a good night. Be safe out there over the weekend. Enjoy yourself. Sub to me if you haven't yet. It literally costs nothing. I'm going for 10,000 by the end of the year. That'll mean that over the course of literally 1 year of YouTube content, I went from 0 to 10,000 subscribers, and that means like the world to me. So I look forward to it. So anyway, have a good night. Have a great day. I've been Tony Scungili, guys, and I'll catch you.